All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race coverage at the Talladega Superspeedway for today's running of the Ag Pro 300, a 300-mile, 113-lap race here for this afternoon, late afternoon into the evening hours at the Talladega Superspeedway. We're in today's race. We have the 11th round of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season in 2025. Engines have not quite fired yet, but they did get through the national anthem just moments ago. When they get the command to fire engines, you'll get to listen into the broadcast there. Visually, you can watch today's race on the CW or CW Sports. As far as the listening of this race, you can listen right here live on KRC. We've got our live leaderboard back. Of course, if you're watching the ARCA race, ARCA's website crashed. Luckily, NASCAR.com, a completely different website, obviously has our raw feed for the NASCAR Xfinity, NASCAR Cup, NASCAR truck races, and all that. So here you see the leaderboard on the left side of the screen. Obviously, I still liked ARCA's leaderboard a little bit better just because I could fit more in one screen. And what I can hear, our original raw feed that we had in the first couple of years of doing this on the channel, a lot better than what we had so far this season with the updates being made. But again, appreciate everybody tuning in. This is our third and final live commentary stream of the day, triple header. We began things at 10:30 a.m. Eastern with the NASCAR NASCAR Cup Series qualifying earlier this morning. Then we had the ARCA race, obviously, which took place earlier in the afternoon before this Xfinity race here today. It's an all RCR front row. Jesse Love and Austin Hill will be starting at the front of the field. Should be the two cars to dominate this race by way of speed, as we tend to see in the Xfinity Series whenever we see these two out on the racetrack. Doesn't matter who's in the two car, whether it was Sheldon Creed or Jesse Love. For Jesse Love, though, he is the defending winner of this race. He won the spring event last year at Talladega, so trying to go back-to-back at this racetrack. Had a chance to go back-to-back coming into this race on the season, where it looked like he was going to get the win at Rockingham last week. Ended up failing post-race inspection, so the win got taken away. All points and all race winnings taken away with that, or at least relegated to last place. Love looking for redemption this weekend. Can he get it done? In today's race, I am going to take Jesse Love for the win, and we'll see if he can get it done from the pole. Austin Hill, again, will be starting in the second place position. We'll go through the rest of the starting lineup as follows. In row number 2 will be Justin Allgaier, who comes in as the current points leader on the season. 2 wins for him this year. And Joey Gase with his best qualifying effort of his Xfinity Series career. In row number 3 will be Jim Burton alongside Taylor Gray. In row 4 for Josh Williams, Daniel. In row number 6 will be Sheldon Creed and Matt DiBenedetto. Row 7 for Connor Zilisch and Sammy Smith. Christian Eckes, Brandon Jones in row number 8. Row 9 for Eric Almirola in his return to the Xfinity Series, and William Sawalich, who ran the ARCA race earlier today. Anthony Alfredo with Carson Kvapil will line up in row number 10. Leland Honeyman, Dean Thompson in row 11. Row number 12 behind them will be Nick Sanchez and Chris Wright. Greg Van Olsen, Kyle Sieg in row number 13. Catherine Legg and Patrick Emmerle in row 14. Harrison Burton, Jeffrey Earnhardt in row 15. Row 16, Blaine Perkins, Mason Maggio. Parker Retzlaff and Sam Mayer in row 17 deep in the field. Row 18, Ryan Sieg and Jesse Iwuji making his first Xfinity start of the season. Rounding out today's 38-car field in row 19 will be Brennan Poole and Cesar Baccarella. Engines are cranking. Just missed the command going through the starting lineup, but we'll obviously let you listen into some of the broadcasts throughout. My own commentary for the most part throughout the course of today's race as well. Again, 113 laps, 300 miles our scheduled distance. Stages 1 and Stage 2, each 25 laps, and we'll make up the final 63 laps to the checkered flag after that. Frederico Sanchez, welcome to the stream. You're the first in the chat down below. Greatly appreciated. I'll try to shout you guys out as much as possible. Our chat poll is open. Has been open actually since last night when I put the stream up. You can vote for who you think is going to win today's race. 31 votes have already been casted for who you think will win, and that voting poll will close at the end of Stage 2. Your voting options are between Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, or somebody other than those three. Our light goal for today's race will be 100, as we have been getting to 100 for these Xfinity Series race broadcasts as of late. So we'll up it a little bit from 50 to 100 and see if we can get that by the end. Take a look at the point standings now as we come into this one. Justin Allgaier has an 87-point lead over Sam Mayer through the first 10 points paying races. 7 top 5 finishes this year for Allgaier, although he did not finish up in the top 5 last weekend at Rockingham. We'll see what he can do here today. He still has a pretty gigantic points lead, almost a race and a half of points ahead. You can score as many as 61 points in one race if you win both stages, win the race, and of course have the Xfinity Fastest Lap bonus point award. Sam Mayer, who comes in second as mentioned, does not have a win on the season. He is the only one of 2 drivers in the top 5 in points without a win. Austin Hill, who also has 2 wins to match our points leader, Justin Allgaier, going for his 3rd win of the season today. Should be a strong competitor for it. He is 3rd in points, 100 back of Justin. Jesse Love comes in 4th in points. Again, looked like he got his 2nd win of the season last week. Not the case, unfortunately. He did win the season opener at Daytona, and he also won at Talladega. So 2 super speedway wins in the last calendar year for Love. We'll see if he can get a 3rd today. Carson Kvapil, 5th in the point standings, also without a win this year. Really charged forward in the points after a slow start to the season. He's starting to get good finishes. He's had fast race cars throughout each race for the most part this season, but now he's getting the good finishes to go along with it. 3 top 5s all in recent weeks. Brandon Jones, who has a win on the year, is locked into the Xfinity Series playoffs as 6th. Connor Zellert 7th. Sammy Smith 8th. Each both have a win as well. Sammy Smith actually got the win at Rockingham last week after what looked like he was going to finish 2nd, and then Jesse Love with the DQ in the post-race inspection allowed for Sammy Smith to get that 1st win of the year. Sammy Smith also is the most recent winner at this racetrack. He won the fall race at Talladega last season. Ryan Sieg is 9th in points. Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. He's been moving backwards on the points here over the last several weeks. Needs to get back going in the right direction. We'll see what he can do today. Our last 2 drivers on the playoff grid side of things, because 12 drivers do qualify for the Xfinity Series playoffs, is Jeb Burton and Harrison Burton, currently sitting 11th and 12th, and the gap between Harrison Burton and 12th to Daniel Dye, the first driver out for colleague, only 3 points. Taylor Gray just behind that. Dean Thompson is up there on the list, also in the top 15. Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Brennan Poole, Jeremy Clements, and Josh Williams round out the top 20. Statistical leaderboard. Obviously, we have that scrolling across the top of the screen, as well as the top drivers in the point standings. I mentioned already Allgaier. He does lead the points. He's tied for the most wins with Austin Hill, 2 apiece. Nobody's won 3 or more races. We've actually seen quite a few different winners in the Xfinity Series level so far this year. 10 races have been completed, and so far we have seen 8 different winners. 2 of them not running full-time in the Xfinity Series points, which would be Eric Almirola, who would be part-time in Xfinity, and of course Kyle Larson, who ended up dominating at Bristol a few weeks ago. He is running full-time in the Cup points, so therefore he can't run for Xfinity. But as far as the statistical laps led leader, Larson still led the most this year, over 400 laps led, despite only running 2 races. Justin Allgaier of the Xfinity Series regulars has the most laps led, though, 334, en route to those 7 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Most top 10s, most top 5s in the series. Second most stage wins. Most stage wins is actually Austin Hill, who has 4, most of which coming on the drafting ovals at Atlanta and Daytona earlier this season. Maybe he can click away another stage win or 2 here today as well. DNFs on the season, 3 of them for Sheldon Creed, part of which why he has fallen in the point standings, including 1 last weekend at Rockingham. Nick Sanchez, Christian Eckes, Anthony Alfredo of the full-time Xfinity Series drivers also have 3 DNFs. William Sawalich, who is buried in the points, 25th coming into the day for JGR. Didn't have as great of a run as he would have liked in ARCA earlier. Started on the pole, led a lot of laps early, ended up finishing in the 9th place position. We'll see if he can get back going in the right direction here today. He is in dire need of a good run. Chris Wright would be last of the drivers running full-time in Xfinity Series points, and he also has 3 DNFs. So those are, again, the statistical leaders in whatever categories they are leading in for the NASCAR Xfinity Series season through 10 races. This is race 11 out of 33 on the season.
Have a chance to get up the front today. Maybe your only goal should be to keep 4 wheels on it and then driving straight. If you do that, you might have an opportunity. We have seen it before. 5 of the last 11 first-time winners here at Talladega. It could happen for someone in this field you didn't expect.
Well, Parker, I love your optimism.
Oh, thank
the
you.
facts say 6 of the last 8 have been won by RCR drivers. Ironically, they start on the front row today with the fastest cars. You see right there, RCR, 10 wins at the drafting style tracks. Unbelievable over the rest of the company.
Major juggernaut everyone has to overcome there.
Those RCR cars always fast, and they're 2-0 in 2025. When you talk about racing in the draft, Jeff Burton will be a player today as well. Green flag comes your way next on CW.
I wasn't expecting them to go to commercial that quick. Otherwise, I would have not turned it to them. extra parade laps here for the beginning portion of this one. Chris Davis in the chat saying Chevy's going to win today. We shall see. They got a very good case for that. I do think Chevrolet will win. I think your three favorites starting in those top three positions are all for Chevy. Definitely helps. JGR hasn't been as strong in the Xfinity Series this season. There's very few Fords in the field. Chevy's going to win more often than not on most Xfinity Series race weekends, no matter who they have in their cars. Thank you again to everybody who has hit the subscribe button on the channel, whether in years past up to today. We did hit 6,000 subscribers on the channel during the ARCA race earlier today. So, again, thank you for that so much. Thank you for everybody who donated. If you're tuning back in for this one here today, blew me away with that in the ARCA race. To say the least, and obviously, thanks for tuning in again here today. If you are a returning viewer who might have been listening for the first time during that one, again, live commentary streams every NASCAR race weekend, Truck Xfinity Cup races, Cup practice, qualifying. Qualifying, obviously, no practice this weekend for the Cup Series when they took place on the racetrack for the first time at Dega this weekend this morning. Xfinity race going on right now. ARCA race was earlier, again, part of our triple header on the channel for Saturday, Talladega action. Tomorrow, no live commentary for the Cup Series. Again, I will be at the Cup race in Dega, and we will be live the following weekend, Friday night. The Truck Series will be at Texas Motor Speedway. That will be our next live commentary stream. So we'll have 6 days. We'll be back. And I will be at the Cup race again tomorrow, so race highlights from the grandstands. I'll also be at the Cup race at Texas Motor Speedway the following Sunday as well. So between the off week last week for Easter, it's going to be 4 weeks in between Cup Series live commentary streams. Best play-by-play announcer I've heard on YouTube. Well, I greatly appreciate that. That is huge. I'm sure there's some other ones out there. I definitely know there is across many other sports. But this is a NASCAR-oriented channel. I love racing. Obviously, many of you tuning in love racing, and glad we can watch this all along as a NASCAR/racing family. Tim Fowler, Frank Power, Steve, welcome to the stream, everybody. Time for Connor Z to pull one off. Well, that's the beauty of Talladega. Anybody can win. Zillage has done a great job on the ovals this season. There are particular ones that he performs better at than others. Martinsville, which kind of races like a road course, he had a great car that day, led over 100 laps, won the first 2 stages, started on the pole. That could be a good track for him in the fall later this season. Had over 70 people in the chat already. Race is still yet to begin. Lights might be out on the pace car that could be going green this time by. We've gone through our starting lineup already, and it looks like the CW is doing that as of right now. And CW Sports is where you can watch visually. For copyright reasons, I can't show the race on visual purposes, but we got our live commentary, full flag-to-flag coverage right here for you. We usually don't do a huge post-race show for the non-Cup Series races on the channel. We had just too many people in the chat earlier. I could not do that earlier today. Had to wait for that Cletus McFarland interview. As far as the Xfinity Series race goes, though, here today, especially, probably the most abbreviated post-race show we'll have on the channel. I've got a 10-hour drive to get down to Talladega as soon as this stream ends, as soon as this race ends here this evening. I'm not putting all 10 hours in tonight, so don't worry, I will be safe. Just basically going to drive, try to time it out between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, however far I get. Try to get a hotel room somewhere around the vicinity that I'm at, or the next nearest city that'll be at. Hopefully, I should be able to get to at least Lexington, I would think. I live in Northwest Ohio. That's about a good 4 hours for me. Probably closer to 5, 4.5, 5 hours. So I should be able to get at least that far, and then drive the rest of the morning to get to the track. Can't wait. They haven't seen a race in person yet this year, so that'll be fun tomorrow. And again, can't wait to just bring you guys the action here today. Fuel windows 43 to 45 laps. Mentioned already that stages 1 and 2 are each 25 laps. Stage 3, 63 to bring us to the checker. Crowd on their feet here on the front stretch at the Talladega Super Speedway, and the RCR Chevys of Jesse Love and Austin Hill will lead us to the green. Love has elected the outside lane for this initial start. He's my personal pick to win. You vote in the chat again for who you think is going to win today's race. That will close at lap 50 at the end of stage 2. Green flag is in the air. Jesse Love trying to go back-to-back in the Dega Spring race and redeem himself, from last weekend's race at Rockingham. Pulls down in front of his teammate Austin Hill into the first turn. Very organized start as predicted. And that is definitely what we could have expected for the start of this race, is those two teammates working together, as I'm sure they will throughout the majority of this one, hoping that at least one of their two cars can go to victory lane. Still increasing speed with the restrictor plates down the backstretch. Takes almost a full lap here at Talladega to get up to those 190 plus mile an hour speeds in the pack. Top 4 cars are single file, side by side for 5th going on right now between Taylor Gray and the 27 of Jeb Burton. Burton, former Talladega winner with Colleague Racing back in 2021, won a rain-shortened spring event at Talladega that year. No rain in the forecast for today. Should stay clear tomorrow as well. Beautiful weather at Talladega for at least the Saturday and Sunday edition. Temperatures will be even warmer tomorrow in the 80s as well. So track temps more than what they were today. Overcast skies for qualifying in the morning. Sun has peaked out a little bit throughout the afternoon for both the ARCA and now the Xfinity race here into the evening hours when we get to the finish. No lights at Talladega, obviously, so this race does have to end in the daylight. Hopefully we don't get too many cautions that could potentially ruin that outcome, though we still have several hours of daylight at Talladega. I don't think that will be an issue. Love leads the opening lap of the race, and he's looking to lead lap 2 as he still stays put in front of his teammate Austin Hill at the front of the field as they complete the second lap. That will be the case. Jesse Love out in front, Austin Hill in second, Justin Allgaier third, Joey Gase fourth, and then that side-by-side battle for fifth currently won by Jeb Burton. Now Taylor Gray, 3x3 up at the front of the field. Or at least in the lead pack, maybe not the very front of the field. But there is a third line forming. That third line is being led by Harrison Burton in the 25. Sam Mayer, fellow Ford driver, just behind him. The RCR Chevys of Hill and Love move up to the outside to cover Justin Allgaier, who had moved up in front of Taylor Gray, trying to lead the middle groove. That'll break up the bottom, and that lane changing at the front of the two lines leading the way could help the third lane if they continue to grow in numbers, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Third lane is now falling back a bit as they only have really 4 or 5 cars up there. It was 7 or 8 a little bit ago. See if any of the faster cars at the front of the field try to hop their way back up in front of them if they do try to press forward. But that doesn't seem to be the case, at least yet. Entering turn 1, Hill got back down to the bottom. His teammate Jesse Love goes there as well. Side by side for second now between Allgaier and Hill. Love covers the 7 of Allgaier down the back straightaway. Back down to the bottom in front of his teammate Hill entering turn 3. Love from the pole has led the first 4 laps of this race. Definitely off to a strong start. Love's doing a good job with those lane changes. Very subtle, not too aggressive with the blocks. He's getting up in plenty of time. Have to gauge exactly where the momentum is coming from when making the move so he doesn't get shuffled out of one line or the other. A lot easier to make these moves happen when the outside line is really in the middle groove of the racetrack and not all the way up near the wall where the spacing is wide between the two lanes. And even as they move up down the back straightaway, the inside line moves up off the double yellow just a bit. Austin Hill is trying to side draft the top, who really started to gain some momentum. 4 wide now, right in the middle of turns 3 and 4 in the center of the pack. As they get off the exit of turn 4, still trying to get organized. It's still nearly 4 wide. Now they're down to 3x3 again. Well, we've seen 4 wide for the first time today, and it probably won't be the last, considering we're only on lap number 5. Now lap 6 as they cross the stripe. Jesse Love and Austin Hill, those two RCR teammates, have been broken up just a bit. Taylor Gray in the 54 has actually shuffled himself down in front of the 21. The 7 of Allgaier also right in front of Gray, as Hill sits right around 4th. Outside lane car is the 10 of Daniel Dye. And he now has Taylor Gray in front of him, who moves all the way from the bottom, shooting to the wall on the outside is Gray. Back to the middle, entering turn 3, back to the top. Gray's going all over the place. Hill to the front of the inside line with a couple of cars in front of him bailing out of the way. Jesse Love saw that and immediately moved down, and now the RCR duo are back together again. Hasn't really been any aggression with bump drafting going on. You can't lock bumpers in the Xfinity Series. Same with ARCA. You can give a couple quick bumps and then have to get off. Can't lock for a long period of time. Nothing more than a couple of seconds. Otherwise, you would be black flagged. Allgaier into the middle groove of the racetrack. Top groove, actually. Austin Hill in the middle. Hill not being the lead car in his line when Jesse Love does move down. I think it's hurting him when he's trying to make these moves at the very front of the pack. Dye shuffled down into the middle groove of the racetrack and leads that line instead. And the JGR Toyotas, 3 of them, all up on the outside. Taylor Gray, Brandon Jones, William Sawalich are those 3 on the outside lane of the track. And those Toyota Supras starting to lead themselves forward. Gray side drafts the inside car to the bottom of the track, that being Jeb Burton, who is the 4th in line on the double yellow. Hill moves to the top, back to the bottom. Same for Allgaier and Love just in front of him. It's been mostly 3x3 in the second half of this lead pack at the front of the field, really from about lap 3 or 4 onward. They continue to grow in numbers. Big side draft for Carson Kvapil on the 53 of Joey Gase, who was just underneath him. Almost opened up a pocket for him to get down onto the bottom lane of the racetrack, but that closed relatively quick.
W Sports back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Aerial coverage today brought to you by the Lucas Oil Helicopter. It continues to be Jesse Love out front. Some Chevys really making a play up there in that bottom lane. 5 of them stretched out together. Back into that is Daniel Dye. Toyota's starting to come in the outside lane.
They're trying to make this third lane work, but it's not quite going to get them to the front right here. It looks like those couple Chevys up front are really just controlled this race, led by Jesse Love, Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Jeff Burton in that group as well. Had a fast qualifying effort, but those Toyotas up top, they're trying to make this third lane go and keep an eye on that middle lane. Now we'll start to go as that third lane gets back.
Well, as that middle lane fades away, you got to hope more of them go to the top if you're in the top lane to get more cars in that lane. You see Carson Kvapil about halfway back is stuck in the middle, side drafting. Steely Bog and dragging Josh Williams back. That's what's creating that gap to the 53 car right in front of him. These guys are really all kind of stalled out. It's almost like this accordion, right? You think you're making some ground up, and then you get stalled out. You start to go backwards.
How important is the bottom lane? You're leading the middle, and then you squeeze down low.
And we've seen some really aggressive moves by Jesse Love and Justin Allgaier as they tried to navigate the lanes earlier until this bottom sort of became dominant. And this is always the question for me, Jamie, because when you get in these races, it just seems like if you came here 3 times in a row in 3 different days, you can have a different reaction in terms of the bottom being dominant, the top, does that one go up there? And so you just sort of assess this, and right now we're seeing the bottom lane led by these 4 really fast Chevys being the dominant place to be in the controlling line.
On board here with our race leader, Jesse Love, it's the Simply Safe onboard camera. Jamie, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, Parker, you're right. And what I can tell you is we see this line forming on the bottom. We talk about spotters and what the spotters can see versus what the drivers can see. When you pan out and you get this big aerial shot like we see here, when you can't tell if you're the 4th, 5th car back in line on the bottom, you don't know how many you have in your lane. You depend on your spotter to tell you that, and also to tell you, listen, there's a lane generating on the outside. But as you look, we've got 8 or 10 cars in that front pack, all on the bottom. They're content right now to ride where they are. Let's get closer to the stage break before we try to battle for some points.
While we were away, Parker Retzloff in the 4, unscheduled pit stop, had a flat tire. Tough break for him because of how good they were last week at Rockingham. Let's hear from Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, they were hoping to carry that momentum. Unfortunately, hit a little bit bad luck. You talked about that unscheduled stop. He lost 2 laps during that stop for a couple of reasons. A, because that left rear was completely destroyed, so he had to nurse that car down pit road, so it didn't do too much damage to the car. Then once they were in their pit stall, they had to do a lot of checks to make sure that carcass wasn't wrapped around the brake line. While they were on pit road, they did make a chassis adjustment. Parker just saying it's a little bit free. He's not out of it, but he's got a long way to go, 2 laps down.
Well, he's definitely not out of it. We know we're going to have some cautions. He's the only car a lap down at this point. If we get a caution, obviously he's going to get one of those back. And once you get to 1 lap down, you're back in the game. But we're going to see 4 or 5 cautions throughout this race. He's still going to be in an okay position. Might be in a position, Parker, to actually miss the wreck.
Yeah, it could be a blessing in disguise. That happens often in super speed racing. And one of the things that I think if you're looking at these first, as we get halfway in this first stage, it almost feels tame, right? That's very common in an Xfinity race at these super speedways. Drivers are figuring out the cars. Remember, there's no practice. You show up, you do 1 qualifying lap. You're starting to slow the car out, start your competitors out, that sort of thing. You're going to be, not take as many risks, not be as aggressive as Nick Sanchez goes to the top there in that orange and white car. But then as it builds, you get more comfortable. That's when we see those aggressive moves.
Halfway through stage 1 at Talladega, coming out of the first turn into the straightaway, was key for Jesse Love to get ahead of the curve and take the lead. To go back to back in the springtime in Talladega Superspeedway.
All right, Jesse Love continues to lead. He's led every lap from the pole thus far through 14. Justin Allgaier in second, Austin Hill third, Jeb Burton fourth, and Daniel Dye rounds out the top 5 and 5th. Joey Gase is in the 6th place position, Carson Kvapil 7, Josh Williams 8, Sheldon Creed 9th, and Taylor Gray rounds out the top 10. Christian Eckes in 11th, Eric Almirola 12th, Matt DiBenedetto 13th, 14th for Harrison Burton, and Sammy Smith 15th. Jeffrey Earnhardt in 16th, 17th is, actually, leaderboard just changed on me as they finished a lap. So Brandon Jones is 15th now, Sammy Smith 16th, Harrison Burton 17th, Connor Zilisch 18th, 19th for Blaine Perkins, Dean Thompson in 20th, Leland Honeyman is 21st, William Sawalich 22nd, Nick Sanchez 23rd, Ryan Sieg 24th, and Jeremy Clements 25th. Sam Mayer 26th, Ryan Ellis 27th, Chris Wright 28th, Patrick Emmerling 29th, and Kyle Sieg is 30th. Brendan Poole 31st, Mason Maggio 32nd, 33rd Catherine Legg, Cesar Baccarella 34th, Jesse Iwuji 35th, Greg Van Ols 36th, Anthony Alfredo 37th, a lap down, 3 laps down for Parker Retzlaff now in 38th. As you just heard, had a tire coming apart, had to pit unscheduled under grain in the early laps. Robert Goodrich, Bone Does, Lisa Jones, welcome to the stream as well. Last year's Chicago race was the only race. Didn't get to see much of it. Roof of a car go by. Oh man, that's tough. Yeah, the race highlight video from the grandstands that I really like doing. I mean, it just gives you a good view, obviously, not only where I'm sitting, but just what it's like to be at a NASCAR race. And I try to compile a video 20 to 30 minutes. And then whatever highlights throughout the course of the race that I catch outside of those 20 to 30 minutes on camera as well, upload individually, just to give people a view for whether you've been to a race before or not, just what it was like to attend that said race in person. Love has made a lot of lane changes to hold on to his lead when runs have been coming up from behind, whether that was from Taylor Gray earlier, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, though Hill's runs pretty much just to get back to the 2. 21 and the 7 are side by side for second, but this time Hill's on the outside and Allgaier's on the bottom. The rules were reversed most of the time. Those two were door to door for position. Before that, big side draft before entering the tri-oval by Allgaier. He was all over the left side door of the 21 of Hill, trying to slow him down just a bit. Allgaier going a bit backwards as his teammate Carson Kvapil trying to pick up in the draft to get closer. Hill's clear for second, pulls to the back of the 2. Still stays on the outside of the racetrack near the wall, though, in the center of 1 and 2. Jeb Burton in the 27. That Jordan Anderson Racing Chevy is actually an affiliate to that of the RCR Chevrolets. So a little bit extra backing behind RCR, now up in the top 3 positions as well. Sheldon Creed, highest running Ford, up to 4th. Gray, Taylor Gray that is, in 5th, the highest running Toyota. Still very, very early in this Ag Pro 300. working lap 18 of 25 as of right now. Most positions gained since the start of the race. Nick Sanchez is up 17 spots to 6th. Ryan Sieg is up 28 spots to 7th. 19 spots gained for Harrison Burton in 19th. Let's see here. Who else? 18 spots for Blaine Perkins, up from the start of the race. And some of the biggest losers in this one, Anthony Alfredo is down 18 positions from the start. Also down 18 spots is Ryan Ellis, who started in the top 10. Joey Gase started up in the top 5. He was minus 19 positions. Minus 16 for Daniel Dye, 15 for Jeremy Clements, and 15 for Josh Williams. So some of the biggest comers and goers through this field. Sanchez continues to gain positions, and he's up to the inside of our leader, Jesse Love, entering the tri-oval. He is going to get to the second place spot. Love will lead this lap at the line, but not by much. Over Sanchez. Boy, that was close. Difference only 2/1000ths of a second that last time they crossed the stripe between first and second. And Love didn't really even have a lot of help. That just goes to show how strong that 2 car is. Again, he has led every lap from the pole so far. 7 laps to go in stage 1. Business is picking up as it usually does towards the end of these stages. Even in stages 1 and 2, when the pay window for the race win itself is not necessarily open. Stage points are awarded to the top 10 positions, 1 point per position. Obviously, with the race stage win, getting 10 points, and then 1 all the way down to 10th. Playoff point on the line for the stage winner as well, winning the race at the end. 5 playoff points going towards the season standings. 6 laps to go, stage 1 at the line.
Trying to get the free pass as we come to 6 to go on stage.
When I think about Daytona versus Talladega, it's about 8 feet difference in the width of the corner, about 20% narrow or wider here at Talladega than Daytona. And I bring that up because as you watch these cars, Jesse Love, Austin Lee's guys on the outside, you see Sanchez and Allgaier who were riding on. It's such a difference in the distance around the corners. You can make up so much ground in the corners trying to look at the track versus one on the bottom.
Hellman's onboard camera showing the flash of Ryan Sieg coming to the front in the 39.
Big run there through the
4
middle.
wide,
Allgaier
middle of the
trying to
pack
clear
again.
The 19 there, he wasn't able to do it. And I think you said 8 feet, but it feels like an eternity bigger. Like 80, yeah, it's massively bigger. It feels like there's so much more opportunity, so many more lanes here at Talladega. And because of that, you feel like you can control your destiny more. You see cars going 5, 10 spots of difference in lap by lap. That's because of just how much space there is to race around here.
Yeah, and you brought up Ryan Sieg on Tuesday. You said, look, he's my pick heading into this week. I'm going to let that pay off right now. Because in qualifying, Jesse Love's so fast in qualifying. If you're Sieg, who started all the way in the back of this pack, has worked his way to the front and in position to get some good stage points.
And I was just going to say that. I look at the top 10, long way to go to finish the stage because so much can happen here in 5 laps. But several drivers in the top 10 that say we need all the points we can get. And the other thing I would say, if you can get stage points in a race like this, knowing what could come later, you need to put all the money in the bank you can.
And one thing we've seen is the RCR teammates at the front have worked together really well. But if you look at that middle lane, it is all Toyotas. And they're lining up right now, really doing a great job working together. We know in Xfinity, if you have strength in numbers, if you commit to that, there's huge payoffs in doing that. So I'm looking at those Toyotas right now in that middle lane.
Yeah, and I saw the exact same thing at the same time.
Like the same brain.
All I can think of is that they're working better now than I've seen in the past. I mean, it really seems like these junior motorsports, you see RCR, Joe Gibbs Racing, all those guys working together better than ever. And as we talk about stage points, Adam, I can't help but think about that 18 right behind Taylor Gray. It's been a rough 4 or 5 weeks for William Zawalich. He needs these stage points as much as anybody.
Up in front of the Toyotas. 8-second thoughts and nearly slid back down in, creating an accident. As it stands, he hangs on. Now he leads the middle lane in the 27.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be there right now.
No, I think he felt like there was maybe more momentum in that top lane. But that indecisiveness, he got away with it there. But that is the thing that causes wrecks. That's what gets you in trouble. You have to be decisive with your moves at super speedways, or you will pay a price.
Golden Corral onboard camera, 3 to go, stage 1, and there is no question now with the points on the line, the intensity is really starting to turn up.
Yeah, and as you look at Ryan Sieg and the red or the white and red 39 right there on the inside, I see a lot of movement from that car in the middle of the corner. It almost looks like the back's moving around a little bit. And as you get 3 wide, like you see Jeff Burton and Taylor Gray, Williams Zawalich in the middle, it's the worst handling car. You don't have air on either side of your car. You can't go high, you can't go low.
Big moment there. Sheldon Creed was able to sort of force Austin Hill out of the bottom groove there. When he got beside him, Austin Hill was trying to get back down to stay behind his teammate and wasn't able to do it. So he's forced to be in the middle now. Doesn't have a pusher behind him. He's going to try and chase the 27. That was a big move by Sheldon Creed. He's got that fast 39. Ryan Sieg right behind the Ford.
Yeah, two Fords lined up behind the Chevy of Jesse Love on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Now Love goes to the top to carry his teammate Austin Hill and try to get him to pull forward so they can clear up both the bottom lane cars. Custer is still, or sorry, not Custer, Creed rather, in the 00, still underneath the 21 of Austin Hill. Down the back straightaway, Hill breaking forward just a bit. The 27 of Jeb Burton trying to get close to the back of the 21, get him a push, get him going in the right direction. 5 Fords, Chevrolets, excuse me, lead the outside lane of the racetrack. 16 of Christian Eckes making a 3-wide move and actually gets the 27 of Jeb Burton off the outside. Burton now leads the middle line of cars. 3 wide from about 5th on back. Jesse Love has led the first 24 laps of the race. Can he lead 25 as this is the final lap now of stage number 1? How much of a bump draft is Austin Hill going to get down the back straightaway from that of Christian Eckes is going to be the big determining factor, as if anybody can maybe have a chance to catch Jesse Love for the stage win. He's going to get the push. Hill's got broken free now of the 3 cars that are all 3x3 behind him. Hill to the inside, but is not going to be able to clear by the time they get into turn 3. And after pulling out of line middle of the back straightaway, he lost his drafting help, and Love got a push from the 16 of Eckes instead entering turn 3. Love is clear down to the bottom off 4. Eckes back to the outside near the wall. Jesse Love stays to the bottom through the tri-oval. Austin Hill getting a big push from the 00, but he's not going to be able to get the Love in time, and Jesse Love is going to win stage 1 in dominating fashion from the pole at Talladega. So Love will win stage 1. He leads every lap, and his teammate Austin Hill, who started second, will finish second at the line. Just as they drew it up. I feel like Hill definitely had to work harder for his second than Love maybe did for the stage win. But congrats to Jesse Love, kind of picking up from where he left off last week on the speed side of things. Hopefully he doesn't fail post-race inspection this time, and he can maybe have a shot to go for the win. First stage win of the season for Jesse Love, by the way. He does have 1 race win, so that's 6 playoff points on the year for him now. Rest of the top 10 as follows through stage 1. Austin Hill again in second. Sheldon Creed third. Christian Eckes fourth. Ryan Sieg rounds out the top 5 in 5th. Josh Williams in 6th. Nick Sanchez 7th. Harrison Burton 8th. Justin Allgaier 9th. Jeb Burton rounds out the top 10. 1 point again per position there. NASCAR Nerd 22, welcome to the stream. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. Our goal is to get to 100. We're at 43 right now. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. Well, I should say weekly, at least, NASCAR content. It hasn't been daily here for a couple weeks. Apologize for that. Again, I've been pulling a lot of OT at work, and going to be on vacation here for the next couple weeks as well. We'll get back to the gaming stuff during the week at some point, but live commentary streams still continue. Robert says doubleheader today, tripleheader actually. Cup qualifying in the morning, ARCA race in the afternoon, and now this. Race-wise, yeah, 2 races today. No cautions for incident in stage 1, so our first yellow is the stage 1 break at lap 25. Just less than 25 minutes into the race. And long ways to go. We'll have our first pit stops and pit road opens here shortly. We'll take our first break of the stream. Again, you're listening live on KRC of the Ag Pro 300 at Talladega. I didn't get a diecast showing out earlier, so I'll be sure to do that right now on this live commentary stream. We'll do 2 of them. And this first diecast showing is this Michael Waltrip DEI number 15 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. And this is from the 2001 season specifically, obviously the Daytona 500 winner that year. He is a former Talladega winner, so that's the reason for me showing off this Michael Waltrip diecast here this week. But Yeah, 2001. I like this 2001 Napa diecast specifically. I like the fact that there's more yellow on it, so you have more of a variety of blue and yellow rather than some of his later Napa schemes being mostly blue. The DEI pinstripes, of course, around the bottom of the track is all the DEI cars had. The 1, the 8, the 15 over the years. So that is our first of 2 diecast showings. And again, the reason why I'm showing 2, I didn't show one off during the qualifying stream this morning. I got one off during the ARCA stream late, so trying to play catch up on that. We'll have our usual diecast showing at the end of stage 2 as well, which will be the second. Still on commercial. Interested to see what kind of pit strategy we maybe see. Who's taking tires, who's going maybe fuel only, right sides only, trying to gain track position. And really try to break apart the 2 and the 21, which have dominated the race from the front row.
EW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express Card. And by Subway. Get the meal of the day, a legendary 6-inch sub, chips, and a drink, only $6.99 at Subway. Stage 1 complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega. Josh Williams with some good stage points. Finished in the 6th position. So let's get our Race Fit Health Report brought to you by Brez Tree.
I like this for Super Speedway racing, Jamie. Sports psychiatry.
Yeah,
you need that because this is entirely a mental game when you come to these races.
Man, I'd say every driver needs a little bit of that. I don't know about that fitness program though, partner. I don't know how much he's benefiting in the car.
His gym is the garage.
Feels like works for him.
Well, then he
Good
knows
for
the
you.
cars well.
You know, some people have their gym in the garage. His gym is the garage, right? Pit stops are big here, and there could be some strategy. Some teams like to do 4 tires at the end of the opening stage. Others say, let's go 2 here, 2 at the end of stage 2. Most would go fuel only when they make that final pit stop of the day. Progressive Pit Road is open. Dylan, here they are.
And Adam, we're going to see a couple 2-tire stops, I believe, from a couple of cars at the front. Austin Hill at the top of the screen finished second in that first stage. Started free and then got more free as they went. They don't like that. They want to be on the snug side. They'll change right side tires here. Looks like just an air pressure adjustment. A little slow leaving. Sheldon Creed, they'll go around and change 4 tires. He was a touch free on exit, or on entry rather, on the bottom, Kim.
Jesse Love already up there, stop after taking right side tires only. He said the car was fine, just a little unstable. He doesn't want to be any freer taking pushes, so they tightened it up with the track bar adjustment. Christian Eckes also with right sides only. He said it was a little free. He felt okay running the top, but definitely needed to be tightened up.
The race off pit road was unbelievable.
Good
Love and Eckes. I thought Eckes got it, actually, but he does get 2 spots. Love wins the race off. Sanchez +4, +5 for Allgaier. Not even +20, maybe fuel only there. And by that much, it's Jesse Love maintains the top spot. Stage 2 come out.
There were a few drivers that stayed out of the pits, but they're going to end up probably hitting pit road. They won't be able to make it on fuel to the end of stage 2. So that should cycle Jesse Love back out into the lead after he had won the race off of the pit lane. Drivers that stayed out now, just waiting to top off after pit road clears. Stay clean of any potential incidents that may take place. Anthony Alfredo gets the free pass at the end of stage 1 to get back on the lead lap. Parker Retzlaff has since fallen a few more laps down following having to make an unscheduled pit stop. Tough break for Retzlaff, who was runner-up at Rockingham just 1 week ago. He's performed pretty well in his young Xfinity Series career on these super speedways like Talladega, but fortunately today not going well for him. So Jesse Love, 0.7 of a second under caution ahead of Christian Eckes. Very tight race off pit road, though, between those two, the 2 and the 16. Top portion at the front of the field for this upcoming restart will have Jesse Love out in front, and Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, the top 5. Josh Williams, Connor Zilich, and Daniel Dye the next few after that. So first lead change technically under caution. Patrick Emmerling got scored with 1 lap led, and now following lap after he ended up hitting pit road, Jesse Love back in the lead again. So those will be the 2 lead changes. Only laps under caution have been this lone yellow during the stage 1 break. Shane Richards, welcome back to the stream. Josh Mullet Williams, yep. Yeah, having Josh Williams as like the fitness bio driver of the week is such a Talladega move. I feel like only at Talladega you could pull that off and it would make sense. The gym is his garage. Maybe that's the reason for him not performing quite as well at Collie compared to other drivers in the past. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you got a bunch of other drivers in NASCAR. I feel like almost everybody works out to a certain extent nowadays. A driver like a Josh Williams might be a slight thing of the past. He's doing well for himself early on today, though. He's been in the top 10 the whole race thus far. We've seen Colleague have some pretty good cars over the years in the Xfinity Series at a track like Talladega, so we'll see what he can do with it.
I think we should have some fun.
Wow.
Wait a second. Specifically, Parker,
Shoes at?
I mean, you
wear shoes.
you were riding the Dente yesterday, the Chili's Activation Center here at the track.
Set a world record, by the way, on this. They told me afterwards I was the longest running. Well, they had the Guinness Book of World Records there. It was terrifying.
Record in Parker Clearman's mind.
Your baby.
It wasn't a fact.
On the boulevard, sort of facts are blurry.
He had that medium T-shirt on.
Yeah. Well, I told him.
And you lost your shoes and socks.
You weren't allowed to wear shoes.
Oh, is that-
They made that clear.
You just didn't have socks?
No, I took the socks off too. Yeah, I went full barefoot.
Well, when I think of the boulevard, I think I want socks.
Rubber shoes.
Let's get a report from Dylan.
Well, you guys talked about the flexibility of what kind of tires or what amount of tires, I should say, you want to take during pit stops. This was Jonathan Toney's report on the tires that came off the 00. So, yeah, you can run tires probably about as long as you want to today, guys.
They make you feel good, though, Parker.
It's pretty typical here.
If your car's not handling well, you're like, I need tires.
Yeah. They lose some grip from heat. That does happen, and you'll feel like new ones give you that chance to just be a little bit more aggressive at times. But that's interesting because sometimes the first run it can be the worst, and for them to be that good the first time,
Probably because they were rubbered in from the ARCA
Tire
race.
violation on the pit stop. Taylor Gray dropping to the rear. Unfortunate penalty for him. Let's go back and take a look.
And
Yeah. You just got to wait for him right there.
Gosh, that was
Grab it.
close.
really close. That 10, Daniel Dye that had to go around it, staring right as he came out of his stall.
This is so difficult because you spend so much time in that first stage, and he qualified great. I mean, yesterday. So you spent so much time up front, and then boom, now you have to reset and change your mindset as you go to the second stage and coming from behind. One guy that has not had to worry about that, race leader Jesse Love. Here's 2 radio.
Yeah, so they've been working on this with Jesse Love and Parker. What they're referencing there is when he makes a move, don't like we saw Jeff Burt kind of move up and then want to move back down. Like be more aggressive with your moves. I would just caution you early in the race. I don't know that it's worth that, but it's working for him right now.
Real quick, Leland Honeyman Jr. way back in the field, 31st. They did come back down pit road. He just went by his stall on that original cycle down the pit lane.
All right, green flag is back in the air. Stage 2 underway now. Lap 7 of 25 already with the 6 laps ran under yellow during the stage break. Jesse Love elected the inside lane for this restart and is at the headway again through turns 1 and 2. Nick Sanchez being pushed by the 7 of Allgaiers that get to speed a little bit longer than the 2 cars on the bottom of Eckes and Love. Sanchez is going to be clear for the lead down the back straightaway and will move in front of Love. Love actually shifted to the outside in between the 7 and the 48 before Sanchez had a chance to actually pull back down to the bottom and clear Love rather than the other way around. Eckes with a big run, has help from Austin Hill in the 21. Sanchez tried to block to the inside, and he's going to lose the lead. 3 wide. Sanchez is the car in the middle, an aggressive move, trying to block the 16. He was a little late, couldn't get all the way to the bottom. By the time he tried to get back up to the outside, Love was there. Eckes leads his first lap of the race at the line that time by instead. Love will side draft him into turns 1 and 2. Pulls way away from the side draft up on the outside of the racetrack, or right back down into the middle again. Justin Allgaier trying to get a push from behind from his teammate Connor Zilic. Zane Smith also there for Junior Motorsports behind the 2. Jesse Love down to the bottom of the track, all clear. Should have another lead change at the line, assuming Love will continue to lead this lap. Connor Zilic got shuffled out of the outside line. He was up in the 3rd lane of the racetrack with no drafting help and goes from the 3rd car on the top to outside the top 10 before he's going to be able to get back in line. I believe he's still up on the outside. A few cars have picked him up in the draft just behind him. Nick Sanchez being one of which after he had gotten shuffled off of the top couple positions on the restart. Sanchez, a former winner at Talladega in the Truck Series, still yet to get his first Xfinity win. He is in his rookie season. He had a better run last weekend, and a pretty good car all the way around at Rockingham was a step in the right direction for that 48 team. I wish they had made the playoffs with Parker Kligerman in that 48 car last season. Last 2 years, in fact, when Kligerman ran full-time in the Xfinity Series. Now in the broadcast booth, as you've heard from him a couple times today, is Kligerman. Bam Hall, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Been across all 3 streams today. Thank you for tuning in all day long. Commercial break as of right now on the CW. We'll go through our full field leaderboard. Stage 2, lap 10 of 25 in the second stage, lap 35 of 113 in total. Just over a half hour into the race. Sammy Smith takes his first lead of the race. Jesse Love scored in second. Eric Almirola up to third. Justin Allgaier in fourth. And Christian Eckes rounds out the top 5 in fifth. 6th place for Jeb Burton. Sheldon Creed 7th. Connor Zilic 8th. 9th for Austin Hill. And Jeffrey Earnhardt is in 10th. Nick Sanchez 11th, Ryan Sieg 12th, William Sawalich 13th, Brandon Jones 14th, and Carson Kvapil 15th. 16th for Josh Williams, Daniel Dye 17th, Harrison Burton 18th, Matt DiBenedetto 19th, and Leland Honeyman 20th. Dean Thompson 21st, Sam Mayer 22nd, Jeremy Clements 23rd, Taylor Gray 24th, and Anthony Alfredo 25th. Chris Wright, now Blaine Perkins is up to 25th. Anthony Alfredo drops to 26th. Our leaderboard changed as they crossed the start-finish line that last time by. Behind Alfredo in 26th, in 27th is Joey Gase, Chris Wright 28th, Brendan Poole 29th, and Kyle Sieg 30th. Catherine Legg 31st, Ryan Ellis 32nd, Patrick Emmerling 33rd, Jesse Iwuji 34th, Mason Maggio 35th, Cesar Baccarella 36th, Greg Van Alst in 37th, last car in the lead lap. Retzlaff, I believe, has pulled actually off the racetrack now, 14 laps down and counting. That 4 car is in the garage. He's the only driver off the lead lap and the only driver currently off the track out of the race. He could return, depending on what the issue is. Started with a tire problem, and it's only gone bad from there. Slingshot moved into the tri-oval. Jesse Love gets to the inside of Sammy Smith for the lead. Love leads that lap at the line. Another lead change. No help for the 2 car down on the bottom of the racetrack for the time being. We'll take a quick break while the CW is still in their side-by-side commercial break. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega, the Ag Pro 300. Dakota Denton, thanks for tuning in, and thank you for watching the ARCA stream earlier today. Appreciate you tuning back. Love the overview, great listen. As I weld away at work. There you go. Yeah, see, you can multitask. You know what's going on with the race as it's happening. You're getting stuff done on the side. Greatly appreciate that. I always like the rain out races. I mean, it's not good obviously for the sport and people at the track. It sucks because you might not be able to go back the next day or whatnot. But it's always cool to see the Monday morning or Monday early afternoon streams where the race is going on. They're like, "Hey, listen to you while I'm at work," because I would totally be doing the same thing if I had the availability at wherever I had been working over the years to try to watch the race on Monday or listen to it from my phone. So I'm glad that you guys picked this stream to be able to do something like that. Helps really make my day. 46 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so. Actually, I just refreshed the page. We got more than that. 54 likes on our goal to get to 100. Jeb Burton is now out in front for the first time today. His only career win in the Xfinity Series, again, that 2021 spring race at Talladega with Colleague in a rain-shortened race. Try to get to the checkered flag first today. No rain in the forecast for the rest of this evening. And for the most part, tomorrow, I believe only a 20% chance of rain all day tomorrow at Talladega for the Cup race. Hopefully that goes on without a hitch. If for whatever reason it would rain, I would be there again for Monday because I'm on vacation for a couple of weeks. So I would just delay my trip to Texas after that by an extra day. So there will still be race highlights from the grandstands no matter what day they end up racing on. It was a big move to the outside for Jeb Burton to get in front of Sammy Smith that last time. Boy, got up there and really stalled out the outside line with that late move. Enough so that Austin Hill in the second line from the top in the middle was able to nearly pull clear of Sammy Smith. Got back alongside of him for a brief moment. Jesse Love is right behind his teammate in the middle groove of the racetrack as well. And leading the bottom is Christian Eckes in the 16 on the bottom. He's got Ryan Sieg, a Ford driver, just behind him. It has been mostly 3x3 from pretty much lap 3 or 4 all the way to where we're at right now. The restart, they were double wide for a few laps. They're back to 3 wide post-commercial break. And it is wild, as Talladega usually is. Things were getting nuts in the ARCA race for what it was worth earlier. Way more nuts from the very get-go here today. Just goes to show the experience level. Even though there is a lack of experience in the Xfinity Series at this day and age in NASCAR, but still one more bit of experience than the next series or two down below them, and that is a huge difference. Why these drivers are able to do what they're doing right now, be as aggressive as they are, and not get themselves into trouble early on. Aggressiveness will only ratchet up later as they go through the race, and we shall see who will prevail at race end. 10 laps to go in stage 2 for where we're at right now. Again, the top 5 has Jeb Burton out in the lead, Sammy Smith in second, Christian Eckes third, Austin Hill fourth, Justin Allgaier in fifth. 0.2 of a second, the difference between first and fifth. Scrolling down our live leaderboard here, it looks like the top 23 positions separated by just about 0.08 of a second of each other in this lead pack. Emogene Blevins, welcome back to the stream. Burton continues to lead. Chevy as a manufacturer is definitely dominating this race. Jesse Love led every lap from the pole in stage 1. Won the race off pit road, but has not led many laps in stage 2. Since broken away from being the race leader, we have seen a ton of lead changes. No lead changes in stage 1. We're already, though, to 8 lead changes in this race just off of stage 2 alone, which has only lasted 16 completed laps, so we're currently working our 17th. Love with a big bump draft in the middle groove of the racetrack to the back of his teammate, Austin Hill. Hill's broken free of the 3 wide battling going on in front of him and is actually able to get to the outside in front of Sammy Smith, and Jesse Love will occupy the middle with Eric Almirola behind him. So Love leads the middle. Hill's the second in car line on the outside behind our leader, Jeb Burton. Eck is still leading the bottom with Ryan Sieg behind him. That hasn't changed. Oh boy, gotta be careful. Eck is clipping the apron. Getting into the tri-oval there. Can't advance your position below the double yellow line, and also that is the area of the racetrack where the cars are at their lightest, so you definitely don't want to make a mistake there if you can help it also. Didn't have the big one at Dega in the ARCA race earlier until that final lap on the green-white checker overtime finish. Could have been close to having that one here today in the Xfinity race just moments ago. Big move to the bottom. Jesse Love, no longer in the middle, gets in front of Christian Eckes, and Love leads the inside line of race cars. Almirola now leading the middle, but that middle line is going backwards, and they're losing numbers as cars split to both the top and the bottom. Only 4 cars remain in the middle, mostly the JGR Toyotas. Love, although leading the inside, it looks like the top 5 or 6 cars are clear up high until Austin Hill pulls out a second and goes for the lead into turn 1. He doesn't have a lot of help, but he's got a strong enough race car. He timed the run out well enough. He was able to clear Jeb Burton, and for the first time today, it's Austin Hill who leads at Talladega. If he can lead back to the start-finish line, it'll be his first lap led of the afternoon. Took 44 laps despite starting second and being a dominator in the Xfinity Series on these drafting super speedways. But here he is leading for the first time today at Talladega, while his teammate Jesse Love is still continuously growing closer to the front of the field. On the inside, big move and a big block on top of it. Jeb Burton cut all the way to the bottom of the track in the center of 3 and 4. Hill went with him immediately, was able to make the successful block, but it stalls out the inside lane enough that here comes Sammy Smith now for second place at the very least into turn 1 with help from his teammate Justin Allgaier. Clear of the bottom 2 cars on the inside again, Jeb Burton, Austin Hill, side by side for third, Love and Smith. Sanchez, third line on the top, able to get by, it looks like Taylor Gray, maybe Eric Almirola, one of the JGR Toyotas. For the aerial shot, it's kind of hard to tell. They got a split screen going on right now. Who won trucks last night? Trucks were off this week, actually. Yeah, no truck race this weekend. They'll be back at Texas next Friday night. And they'll be at Talladega in the fall race later this year. Jeb Burton shuffled off the inside. Looked like he was going to go high for the lead. Jesse Love fake going with him. Cut to the bottom. Burton hung out to dry. Almost squeezed Sammy Smith into the wall. And it allows for Sammy Smith to have to back out of the gas. They're 4 wide just behind them into the first turn. One car almost got squeezed against the outside wall as Burton cuts up in front of him. It might have been his cousin Harrison Burton in the 25, actually, who might have scraped the wall just a bit. After being 4 wide into the first turn with not a lot of room to race. That stalled both the middle and outside groove out immediately, with Jeb Burton getting shuffled out of line and making those aggressive blocks and trying to find himself back in the right direction without moving too far back in the field, though he is well cycled out of the top 10. And Childress is leading 1-2 yet again as they dominated stage 1, but this time it's the 21 of Austin Hill in first and Jesse Love this time in second. 4 laps to go in stage 2 at the line. Top 10 as of right now has Austin Hill in the lead, Jesse Love second, Christian Eckes third, Justin Allgaier fourth, and Ryan Sieg in fifth. 6th place is Nick Sanchez, 7th for Josh Williams, Daniel Dye 8th, Sheldon Creed 9th, Carson Quapple rounds out the top 10. 4 wide again, middle of the back straightaway. I believe Daniel Dye in the 10 car shuffled back. Nobody picking him up in the draft. Big lift by the 31 of Blaine Perkins as he almost ran directly in the back of him. Hill and Love move into the middle groove of the track ahead of Justin Allgaier. Now they go near the wall into the tri-oval. Big run for Nick Sanchez. He gets to the outside of the 7. Massive push from behind. That came by way of the 99 of Matt DiBenedetto, who gave him that push. Jesse Love to the outside of the 21. He had so much momentum with the 7 car pushing him at the end of the front stretch. He had nowhere to go but to try to make a move on his teammate. Because if he would have hit him in a wrong spot entering turn 1, that could have caused a crash and taken both of them out of the race. Hill sideways down the backstretch. Not a clear push from Allgaier. Again, he is getting massive pushes. Or giving them, I should say, specifically. Justin Allgaier in the 7, that is. Whoever gets in front of him, he is just knocking him straight to the front. Almost knocking him around in the process. 2 to go, stage 2 at the line. Allgaier, who was on the top lane of the racetrack just about a half a lap ago, now finds himself on the double yellow line inside of Jesse Love for second, while Austin Hill on the top still leads the way. Hill lane changing. Another move up the middle, 3 wide. This time it's Eric Almirola. Jesse Love cuts that off. And also side drafts the 7 of Allgaier through the middle of 1 and 2. Top lane, it's Jeff Burton also working himself forward again. He's going to, oh, I thought he was going to try to squeeze 4 wide up the middle. He got out of line with the 48 car. They didn't stay very organized there, but luckily he got back in line behind him. And we didn't need that. Off turn 4, coming to the final lap of stage 1 this time by. It's Austin Hill leading. Still side by side for second. Almirola pushes Love into the tri-oval. Austin Hill goes up to block his teammate. Love looking to the outside, and now Almirola 3 wide up the middle for second. Hill continues on in the middle groove. Turns 1 and 2. Again, final lap of the stage. Sanchez all over the place with a push in the middle of the corner from Jeff Burton. Don't want to do that. Off turn 2. Tight squeeze in the middle lane. 3 wide for Sammy Smith as he's getting a bump draft from Connor Zilich in the 88. Into turn 3 now is going to be Jesse Love to the outside of his teammate Austin Hill for a brief moment. Now he'll clear again in the middle of 3 and 4. Into the tri-oval for the final time in stage 2. Hill out in front by enough. Should be able to hold on and does. Austin Hill wins stage 2 at Talladega. His teammate Jesse Love took stage 1. Love got his first stage win of the year. This is Austin Hill's 5th stage win of 2025. And just like when they finished 1-2 at stage 1, they finished 1-2 again. This time Love in the number 2 finishes position number 2. Eric Almirola in 3rd, Nick Sanchez 4th, Sammy Smith rounds out the top 5 in the 2nd stage. Connor Zilich in 6th, Jeff Burton 7th, Justin Allgaier 8th, William Sawalich 9th, and Harrison Burton will round out the top 10. 50 laps in the books at Talladega in the Ag Pro 300 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series turn to take place at this very bad, fast racetrack. And we will be back for more here in a short moment. We'll have our second pit stops of the race as well. Not the last, though, so we still have the second half of the race to continue on here on KRC. I hope not, Robert. Tim Mullen, H Sport, GRY BYX, welcome to the stream. H Sport is saying Ross Chastain. Chastain not in the race today. Be in Cup tomorrow for sure. And almost 150 people in the chat. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Thanks for everybody that's hit the like button so far. 62 likes on the stream. Our goal to get to 100. That was our goal for the ARCA race. We ended up having over 900. So that's I'm still befuddled at what happened there. Justin Allgaier winning our voting poll as we'll close that at the end of stage 2. 111 people voted for who you think is going to win. And again, Allgaier gets the most of those votes. Waiting for the end poll to finalize here so we go through the rest of those results. No truck this week, nope. Trucks are off for the spring events at Talladega. 44% took Justin Allgaier, 28% took somebody other than Hill, Love, or Allgaier. And the 2 cars who have dominated the race today for Richard Childress Racing, Jesse Love at 14%, started on the pole, led every lap of stage 1. Austin Hill started 2nd, wins stage 2. Both of them finished 1st and 2nd in both stages. 12% of the votes for Hill. So Allgaier's the fan vote to win this race here today. He is a former Dega Xfinity race winner. Maybe he gets another one here this afternoon. Delbert Wilson, welcome to the stream again. Just again, thank you for tuning in, everybody. One more stage and I'll be on the road to Talladega. Got a long drive ahead of me. I was packing stuff up, began yesterday. I got most of it done. And then I was finishing loading my car up in between the ARCA and Xfinity race streams. So literally all I have to do is just change my clothes real quick. I got to grab my hats, of course. My Ryan Blaney hats for the races these upcoming weekends. Phone charger, which I currently have my phone on the charger right now, so it is fully charged when I go to leave. Camera. All that stuff is right here. Probably unplug the camera. That's probably fully charged now. It's been charging for a couple hours. It better. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right. Yeah, pit road will be open here very shortly. Second stops of the day. Next live commentary stream after this one won't be until the Truck Series race, which will be Friday night at the Texas Motor Speedway. Followed by Saturday's doubleheader with Cup Series practice and qualifying, followed by the Xfinity race in the afternoon. And then more race highlights from the grandstands next Sunday at Texas as well for the Cup race. Main purpose of going down there, if you're talking about Dega in Texas specifically, just to go to the race. I love racing. I'm from Ohio, Northwest Ohio. I've been to Talladega this here. I didn't make it last year, and that ruined the streak of 4 in a row. I believe this will be my 5th trip to Talladega, if I'm thinking correctly. 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. 5th trip to Talladega. First trip to Texas Motor Speedway the following weekend after that, though, so doing a twofer.
Progressive pit road, Dylan.
Eric Almirola will hit his pit box at the top of the screen. He said the car was fine. Just felt like he couldn't do anything on his own. Just kind of running at constant speed, so was counting on some others' mistakes. Left side tires from Austin Hill and a chassis adjustment. Just wanted the rear of the race car in the track more, Ken.
And you see his teammate Jesse Love there. Check it from the bottom. Said really good car balance. But I don't know if he changed or anything. They did put a little piece of tape on the left side. Left side tires only. Snowco fuel. You see Nick Sanchez. A little bit of a slow stop there. The call was to make left side tires only. He reported got a tick loose at the end, but still a better run than the first. Air pressure doesn't to tighten him up.
And now the race off Progressive Pit Road.
Yeah, Jesse Love wins the race out of the pits again. Gains 1 spot on his teammate Austin Hill. Comes out in 2nd. On the road again. Yep. That's exactly right, Tim. Thought I might have some paid event. No, I'm not employed by NASCAR or anybody at NASCAR, so that is not the case. I'll be there for my own expense. My own paid event, I guess, would technically be whatever income I get from posting a race highlight video from the grandstands. It's weird. Sometimes they'll do really, really well, and sometimes my streams do better than that. So it's kind of hit or miss, I guess. It depends on what I catch on camera. I remember I caught John Hunter Nemechek spinning in the Xfinity race there a couple years ago, and that like popped off for like 30,000 views, and then like nothing else. There was a flip in the same race that I uploaded that I caught on camera, and that got less than that. So that was really weird how that works out. I can't figure out YouTube's algorithm sometimes, honestly. No, we will have a diecast showing. Thanks for reminding me. Today's diecast synonymous with the Talladega Super Speedway as well. This is from the 2000 season. Kenny Wallace with the number 55 Square D. Of course, pushing Dale Sr. to his final career win in the Winston 500 of that 2000 season. Talladega fall of 2000. Again, that is where Kenny Wallace got also his career best NASCAR Cup Series finish. Never won at the Cup Series level. It was as close as he had gotten, but I really like the Square D paint schemes. Bobby Hamilton drove this car soon after and did get a win at Talladega in a caution-free race there within the next couple of seasons. Yeah, this Andy Petrie Motorsports team, very, very quick at Dega over those years in NASCAR. So, had a 1999 diecast, 2000 for the live commentary streams, 2001. We're going old school here today on the channel with our NASCAR diecast showings, all 124 scale. All right, just waiting for stage 3 to begin here. Both cautions are the stage ends at lap 25, lap 50. We have not had a caution for incident yet. We only had 4 of them in the ARCA race earlier today. and only won in the first half of that race. Yeah, I'm staying in Houston throughout the week with a couple of people that I know, which is making this trip manageable. Because I would not be spending money on a week and a half's worth of hotel fees, essentially. That would not happen. So they're the main reason why I'm able to do something like this and hang out with them for a few days before, really about 5 days or so before 6 days in between races. Been a couple years since I drove down to visit them. When they come back up north because they have family up here, I've seen them a couple times in the recent years, but it's kind of a couple hour ordeal. But that'll be obviously a cool part of it, as well as the racing to go along with it. 11 lead changes so far in the day. Again, our only caution laps, these 2 stage yellows. No cautions for incident, barely over an hour in. Jesse Love has led the most laps from the pole so far, as he is currently at 35 laps led out of 55 complete. Stage 3 will be 63 laps in length. Our fuel window under green flag conditions, again, is 43 to 45 laps, so they cannot make it on fuel to the end of the race from here. We will have one more stop, likely gas and go only when that happens, especially if it's under green. We see green flag pit stops on these super speedways. Something usually doesn't go right, so that'll be something to document if we stay green that long. It's been aggressive from the get-go so far. They've kept it clean. Great race so far here today for the Xfinity Series. We'll take a quick break while we await this next restart. They just got the one-to-go signal. You're listening live to the Ag Pro 300 at Talladega on KRC.
Race car, he said, never again. I want to see that thing up front. And Nick has done exactly that. He's scored the 3rd most stage points today. 11 stage points on the day. Really impressive. I think he's proven people he has a fast race car.
Yeah, we saw those left side pit stops, which you only see here. It kind of messes the choreograph up of what happens there. You see right here with the 21 coming in, he gets it a little hot. You see that right front lock up. You see the tire changer on the left front have to reposition himself. Wasn't a big deal, but it hurts you about a second and a half, and that's what's allowed Jesse Love to get that lead again. Let's hear what Austin Hill had to say. Well, and what Austin's referring to right there is when the pit stop was over, the car that's pitted in front of him had to come around. He had to sit there for just another second. It just compounded the issues that they had there on pit road.
That's frustrating because so many cars stay on the lead lap here at these super speedways, right? We haven't had any major wrecks that's taken anyone out. So you, as a lead car, that happens a lot of times when you have those cars are further back in the field coming around you, and you just have to time it correctly and hopefully avoid a collision.
And it's so important for the spotter, crew chief, and driver to be aware of that, because you go to pull out that stall and you have contact, which we see almost every single weekend that happens. Tear your car. They've done a really good job there.
Hey, earlier this year, Austin Hill became the all-time leader when you talk about laps led and drafting tracks in the history of the Xfinity Series. Look down at the bottom of the screen in this graphic. Jesse Love, with what he's done here today, is in the top 6 in only 9 races. He's led 348 laps, 35 of those coming today. And he's the control car restart final stage at Talladega.
No one better for Jesse Love to have behind him and his teammate Austin Hill. But I want to watch Eric Almirola. You see his teammate William Sawallich and Taylor Gray, all 3 JGR cars lined up on the outside. Can they work together to get in front of this RCR group?
Can they put an assault on it? It's exactly what I was thinking. Wow, the 40 Nick Sanchez goes to the top right there with a major move and gets a lot of helpers as well. That's pretty not typical to see where a bunch of people decide to go with you, shoving out Harrison Burton. It's like everyone decided they didn't want Harrison ahead of them, and they all went to the top.
It didn't look intentional, but he had plenty of help once he darted out there. Here it is.
Yeah, it looks like they had a big run. We got on that a little bit late, right?
Yeah.
They had a big run. We'll get a better look right here. Yeah, they're generating a little bit of run right here, and he shoots the outside. That's an aggressive move. Gets to the outside of Harrison Burton as well. You have that momentum, and you want to use it while you have it.
Who said they want to be aggressive? That's a mandate from the boss, and that was about as aggressive as it gets, that dive to the outside.
And the other thing that does being successful on the stage is it kind of takes some pressure off. Getting 11 points already now, no matter what happens the day they have those 11 points in their pocket, you can be more aggressive now when the pay window opens later in this race because you absolutely have gotten those points early on. That gives you that chance of a little more leeway.
Parker went there. He went there.
What did I do?
Pay window.
Oh, did I
Pay
say
window.
Oh, no.
He went there.
I didn't mean to.
Let's ride with Allgaier.
Parker, the one thing that I get out of this, as we listen to his spotter Eddie DeHaan talk, is the pitch of the engine. Because that's kind of what you reference inside the car, knowing where the draft is. You feel it, but you also hear it.
Eddie, though, so calm on
I
the
want them to
radio.
be calm. But absolutely.
But we do hear moments of intensity from him, and as you said, sometimes the tone from the spotter stand can send a major message.
And as impressive as that run was that we saw Sanchez get, it crushed that outside lane. Because they pulled out, the outside lane then was cut in half. You see Eric Almirola right there. It's moved that lane back. They're starting to get kind of regrouped together. It takes laps here. It doesn't happen in a straightaway. It takes multiple laps to get that going again.
And especially in the Xfinity car, it just seems to like to generate runs. It can take momentum being built up, as you mentioned, over a couple of laps. And that's why when you see someone who has a run, like we've seen out of Austin Hill earlier in the race, take it, the lead, you take it. And that's what Austin Hill has always said. When he gets a run, he takes it because you just don't know when that will materialize again.
Look who's leading that outside lane. 99, Matt DiBenedetto, working his way to the top 5. Has won a truck race here, and a couple of spots behind him, drafting that outside lane. The rookie is William Sawalich in the 18, Kim.
Yeah, let's get a Toyota driver update. Doing a great job right now. And he's got very limited super speedway experience. He's got just one truck start on a super speedway. Remember, he just turned 18 last October, which limited his availability to run these bigger racetracks. But because of that, they put him in the ARCA car earlier today. He finished 9th in that race. And he's been doing this frequently just to get more seat time. With a limited amount of practice on the Xfinity Series side, he really needs that extra seat time. That's been an emphasis for the team. Jeff Bickering told me they are at this point not paying attention to points. They're trying to build his confidence and start running solid races and finishing solid races.
It's hard to believe when you look at the numbers, the bad luck they've had. A lot of rookie moments for William Sawalich, but very much in the game today. Jesse Love leading, 53 to go.
You know what's crazy? We're eating breakfast in the...
All right, there we go. Tried to mute her before the commercial came about. Welcome back to me. I had to let you listen into the race broadcast there for a little bit. I had to go down and feed the doggos and refill my water because it was empty. Made a mistake on not refilling that before the ARCA race, or after the ARCA race ended. I was more worried about trying to make sure I got my car all packed up and ready to go, so all I have to do is grab my keys and wallet and head out of here. So as far as this goes, Jesse Love early in stage 3 holds on to the race lead. We're 12 laps into this final stage, still only about halfway through the race. 62 laps complete out of 113. A little past halfway, I guess, technically. Jesse Love, with a 10th of a second, has the advantage over Austin Hill. And then you got Sammy Smith in 3rd, Brandon Jones 4th, Connor Zilic 5th, Matt DiBenedetto in 6th. 7th place is Eric Almirola. Jeb Burt 8th, William Sawalich 9th, Jeffrey Earnhardt is 10th. 11th is Taylor Gray, Carson Kvapil 12th, Sheldon Creed 13th, Leland Honeyman 14th, Harrison Burton 15th, Daniel Dye 16th, Justin Allgaier 17th, Christian Eckes 18th, 19th is Dean Thompson, Sam Mayer 20th, Jeremy Clements 21st, Catherine Legg 22nd, Nick Sanchez 23rd, Ryan Sieg 24th, Josh Williams 25th, Blaine Perkins 26th, Joey Gase 27th, Anthony Alfredo 28th, Brennan Poole 29th, Patrick Emmerling in 30th, 31st, Kyle Sieg, Ryan Ellis 32nd rather. Then 33rd is Kyle Sieg. He just dropped back Chris Wright over to 32nd. Then Sieg 33rd, Mason Maggio 34th, Jesse Wuji 35th, Greg Van Alst 36th, last car in the lead lap. Cesar Baccarella 5 laps down in 37th, and Parker Retzlaff still off track, 26 laps down, 38th. Only 2 cars off the lead lap so far as we continue on with the Ag Pro 300 at Talladega. It's my wife going with me. And I'm not married. I am currently single, which again also makes it available for me to do something like this, as well as as well as having people to stay with while I'm down in Houston area in between races for the next couple of weekends. 50 laps to go at Dega. We'll take a quick break. Again, you're listening live to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega. Bring back diecast. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell I'm going diecast hunting tomorrow. I really hope I could get there early enough to be able to do that tomorrow specifically. It just depends how many hours I can drive tonight, because I know for a fact I'm going to have to get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, no matter how much I drive today. Well, I will say the more I drive today, the more I guess I could technically sleep in hours-wise, but my amount of sleep overnight tonight is going to be the same no matter how far I could go. I feel good right now, obviously, even with streaming 3 times already today, but it is still relatively early as it's not even 5:30 Eastern time yet. I was hoping to get out of here by 7. No cautions in this race. So far, knock on wood, the pace has been good. Quicker the race is for me, the better. That's more drive time for tonight. 49 laps to go in this one at Talladega. Again, the only 2 cautions were both for the stage ends at Stage 1, Stage 2. And RCR continues to lead as they're post the side-by-side commercial break on the CW with Love in first and Austin Hill in second. Sammy Smith is third, Brandon Jones fourth. Matt DiBenedetto rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Strong top 5 run for Matty D so far. He was hovering up towards the front of the field at the end of Stage 2 as well. Have a doggy hotel? No, they're my parents' dogs, actually, and they're taking care of them for the foreseeable future. They're gone right now. I don't know where they're at. Well, I think they're at my aunt's right now. The weird thing is the family Easter got postponed till this weekend for some reason. I was a little upset about that because I knew I wasn't going to be streaming last Sunday anyway. I don't know why they moved it back a week. Something about my aunt's, one of their kids couldn't make it until the week after. And I'm like, well, I'm supposed to leave for Talladega that weekend, so I guess I'm not going, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to have to, I think they're all there right now. And then I'll be headed down to Dega here as soon as the stream comes to an end. The timing of that was unfortunate that all kind of worked out the way it did. I don't know why we didn't have it Easter weekend outside of that. It's weird that they're basically celebrating Easter a week after the fact. Long story short, we are here. A couple of bulldogs. The best kind of dogs, of course. Brandon Jones starting to work himself up towards the front now. He's on the outside of the third place car, Sammy Smith. While Hill and Love down on the bottom lane of the racetrack continue to lead. When the 21 and the 2 have been 1-2 at the front of the field, they've been very tough to beat today. Very tough to even get alongside, let alone to pass both of them for the lead, because you might be able to get by one, but then you got to get by the other. It doesn't help that they qualified on the front row, so you just know the raw natural speed is there as well. As it is, again, Super Speedway in and Super Speedway out on the Xfinity Series side of things. 1 second separates the top 19 positions in the running order. And to go to 2 seconds off the lead in this lead pack, you got to go all the way back to 28th. Kyle Sieg is 2 seconds off the race lead. Most of the drivers that are on the lead lap are in this lead pack. Only driver not is Greg Van Alst and Catherine Legg hanging out well behind everybody. But 2.7 seconds separating right now, 1st through 34th in this 38-car starting grid. It also helps that many cars still in the race because, again, we have not seen any cautions for incidents so far today. And only one driver out of the race as of right now. I believe Greg Van Alst actually just went. No, that was Cesar Baccarella, who's several laps down. Not sure what happened to Baccarella, but he's definitely off the pace today. had a mechanical issue of some sort early on, and he has fallen a few laps down. Pit road is open to make it to the end of the race from here, and we've got green flag pit stops for the first time.
Yeah, Burton joining them and the Big Machine 48.
So that's a big group of Chevrolet. Strength in numbers. Chevy has won the last 11 races here at Talladega, and a whole bunch of bow ties to explain, Dylan.
And Austin Hill asked if he would still be hyped up and battling that all day. They will have to change right side tires. He reported a vibration. We think from that slide the last time down the pit road, Cam.
And Park for his teammate Jesse Love, by Chrissy Jennings, make 2 right side tires, go on the jet. You see him kind of slide there. Stop at the pit stop there for Jesse Love.
So, Parker, when we leave pit road right now, it's not a race, right? We want to get in line. We want to get single.
So by pitting now, and as Talladega is as big of a track as it is, they will not go a lap down. And in case of a caution, they can cycle back to the front of the field because they're good on fuel to the end of the race. That's why they pitted right now, right as the window was open, 44 laps to go. The only dangerous thing with this is if we go past the scheduled distance with a lot of green flag laps on top of it, then they're going to be pretty tight. So that's kind of the risk you have right now. Ideally, if they were going to pull off this maneuver, when they did, I would have liked to have gone a few laps further just to have that extra safety net, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of the cars on the track right now are more than likely going to just keep staying out there until we either catch a caution or they pit towards the end of the window, and they're trying to make up as much time as they can so that way the pack that are already pitted isn't gaining ground. The pack that already came out of the pits is more than likely going to stay single file for quite some time. We do have several more cars coming to pit road, so they did go a couple extra laps. A lot of Junior Motorsports is in. Some others as well.
And behind them, a bunch from Junior Motorsports. The Fords and Toyotas stay on track. Dylan?
Yeah, Sammy Smith and the rest of the Junior Motorsports cars are in. The 8 of Smith has just been too tight all day. You saw the little chassis adjustment there in the back window. Waiting on the fuel. Want to get it full in case of a green-white checkered at the end of this one too, Cam.
Quiet day for Connor Zillett. Haven't talked too much about him. Earlier in the race, he said the balance felt okay. Then recently told the team it was a little draggy in the bubble. And overall, just he needs to make better decisions, is what the rookie told his team.
It's interesting when you look at that group coming off. Carson Quapple was the first.
All right, JGR still at the front of the field and staying out on the racetrack for now. We'll see if they pit anytime soon or if they continue to go. I mean, obviously on fuel, they could go quite a ways. Yeah, they could probably get down to about 20 or just less than 20 laps to go before they absolutely have to pit. Brandon Jones is the race leader now. Eric Almirola second. William Sawalich third. Taylor Gray fourth. Dean Thompson fifth. Again, all Toyotas top 4 are for JGR. And 6 is a Ford of Sheldon Creed, Ford Harrison Burton, Ford Ryan Sieg, Ford Sam Mayer, Jeffrey Earnhardt, another Toyota hanging out. So Ford's Toyotas still have to pit, and pretty much every Chevrolet has hit pit road for the most part in the field. Back half of the field in the running order have pit, top half have not. Again, the longer that top half stay out, I don't know that they're necessarily going to lose a lot of time, especially now that they're smaller in numbers just like the other groups. The other groups are going to be battling for what could be the race lead. So maybe they're not going to be quite as organized. Lap time for the drivers in the middle of, well, I'm not going to go the middle. We'll go the lead pack because that's really the main focus on trying to lead a line. Well, actually, never mind. It looks like JGR is coming to pit road this time, so much for that. Everybody's making a pit stop early at Talladega. Usually don't see this. Usually see these teams trying to run it out as long as they can, but inverse here today. As to when exactly everybody is trying to make their green flag stop.
For every single lap as they come down pit road right now.
Toyota's going to make their stop here. Brandon Jones leading them down. Look at William Sawalich. Aggressive getting to the line in the 18. Some Fords in this group as well. Dylan?
2 of those Gibbs Toyotas at the front, Almirola and Jones. Both have felt like their cars have handled fine. They just haven't really been able to do anything with it. Jones was stuck in traffic. Almirola just hasn't been able to get the runs he wants, Cam.
William Sawalich will take 4 seconds of fuel, 2, 1, and he's down the way. Did complain that it was tight on exit, super unstable when somebody was at his door.
So, guys, the one thing is
Man, there's 4 wide coming up out of the pits, nearly making contact. Definitely not organized. That group is going to get eaten up by these guys already at speed. Carson Kvapil leads the pack of cars that is already out in the racetrack and has hit pit road. Still dysfunction down on the apron entering turns 1 and 2, slightly side by side with some of the cars at the back of this lead pack of line Toyotas and Fords that just hit pit road. Got almost a dozen of them in this group. Jesse Love to the outside of Carson Kvapil on the front of the lead pack line, catching the leaders. And it's going to take a full lap for these cars that just exited pit road to get out onto the racetrack and get up to speed. So the second line should catch him at some point. William Sawalich in the 18 moved all the way to the top to try to block Jesse Love and Carson Kvapil, nearly causing a wreck. Everybody evades down to the inside. It did slow their momentum down at least enough. But man, that was a risky play. And here comes Kvapil with several cars moving up in front of him on the Toyota and Ford side of things to try to keep their track position. It looks like the Toyotas are going to have the front of the field for at least the time being. And that's going to box the RCR Chevys of Jesse Love and Austin Hill further back in this lead pack. They're both on the outside, not nose to tail with one another, but they are inside the top 10. Almirola moving up in front of Sheldon Creed in the 00. Brandon Jones stays on the bottom. Sawalich might have an issue. He's still slow. As his rough season continues, coming into this race 25th in points, and now he's probably going to fall off the lead lap as he limps his car back to pit road. Catherine Legg in the pits was able to stay out and lead a lap.
Scheduled with 38 laps to go, but the battle for the race lead.
Leader at the line that last time by was Greg Van Alst. He is the last driver that has to hit pit road, and he is 3 seconds ahead of this lead pack. So Van Alst able to get some laps let in here. Well, Brandon Jones and Eric Almirola lead the main pack in a battle for second, side by side. Third lane forming once again, led by Carson Kvapil in the 1 for Junior Motorsports. He is about 5 rows back, roughly, of the cars that are on the bottom couple lanes in front. Jesse Love moves to the outside with Nick Sanchez as well in front of the 1 of Kvapil, and Love leads the third lane near the wall. There's some smoke, by the way, that was coming out of the back of that 18 of Sawalich as he was slow. Sure if he had cut a tire, maybe some low air pressure leaving the pit. No, it couldn't have been a tire because they didn't change tires. Never mind. That baby's cooked. Might be an engine issue. Unfortunately for Sawalich, knocking him out of the race. At least for the foreseeable future, but it looks like for the entirety. Van Olsen, another lap car, about to get passed by the lead pack as they race 3 wide to the back straightaway to them. And they're probably going to be 4 wide as they work their way into turn 3. And things are dicey. It definitely is 4 wide. Not a lot of room for error. Man, 4x4 here at Talladega as they exit turn 4, headed for the front stretch, 36 laps to go. Jones and Almirola still leading the pack, still 4 wide, middle of the tri-oval now. Harrison Burton almost gets squeezed by Almirola, 3 wide still. 1 car turn at the back of this pack. Into another. Sammy Smith is around, and Greg Van Alst, who was the slow car that the leaders were getting by, also involved. 35 laps to go at Talladega, and the caution is out for incident for the first time today. Our 3rd yellow entirely of this race. Obviously first of stage 3. Not sure who else might have been involved there, but Ryan Sieg is involved. Severe damage on the 39 of Sieg. All taking place during the side-by-side commercial break on the CW. It looks like Sheldon Creed got to the lead just before the caution flag came out. So he's out in front now on Brandon Jones, Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, Harrison Burton, and Taylor Gray at the front of the field. So at least a 3-car incident involving Sieg, Van Alst, Ryan Sieg specifically, and then Greg Van Alst, Sammy Smith. I have to wait to see a replay until after the commercial break finishes airing. So we'll take a quick break of our own while we're waiting it out. Jeff Burton also involved. Man, oh man, oh man. Not a lot of damage on Jeb Burton's car. He should be able to continue. I think Sammy Smith will be all right to continue as well. Can't say the same for Greg Van Olsen, especially for Ryan Sieg. Sieg's day is definitely going to come to an end. I would expect Van Olsen's day to be finished as well. Going to have right around 30 laps to go on the restart. 17 lead changes so far today at Talladega. 10 laps of counting under caution as we're under yellow for our first incident here at Dega.
Under caution at Talladega Superspeedway, our third yellow of the day. First for incident, Ryan Sieg among those involved, taking his Ford to the garage.
And that was unfortunate. He was my pick all week. I'm actually looking good. It was Tuesday pick. So let's see. We have Sammy Smith highlighted here. We're going through across the start finish line. I saw him get turned. Oh, Jeb into this right side. Jeb even hits the wall, and that catches Greg Van Alst as well when the 8 gets spun around, and I'm not quite sure where the 39 gets damaged.
Yeah, Van Alst has not pitted yet, so they have caught him, and it got just a little bit tight there, right? Like they were 4 wide for just a second. Secret, the 35 on the bottom, it gets a little bit narrow right here as they're heading down.
Just condenses 4 cars into 3 spots, basically, right there.
Yep, Jeb right in the middle of it. Not sure he got a
There's
ton of
the
damage.
39. That's how he got all that damage.
Two drivers that were great last week taken out here. Sammy Smith, who won. Ryan Sieg, who led a career-high 77 laps. We'll assess damage and get a restart when we return to Talladega Superspeedway on CW.
4 wide doesn't work. Well, it did for a brief moment earlier. It didn't there at Talladega. First time it didn't work so far today. We've seen it several times, though that was 4 wide for a few rows back. Ran out of room in turn 1. Once more, Sheldon Creed leading under the caution. Brandon Jones is scored in second. Jesse Love third. Eric Almirola fourth. You got Harrison Burton, Nick Sanchez fifth and sixth. 7, Taylor Gray. Sam Mayer 8th. Matt DiBenedetto 9th. 10th is Carson Quapple. Justin Allgaier in 11th. Connor Zilic 12th. Austin Hill 13th. Daniel Dye 14th. Blaine Perkins is 15th. 16th for Dean Thompson. Josh Williams 17th. Jeffrey Earnhardt 18th. Brennan Poole 19th. Chris Wright is 20th. Jeremy Clements 21st. Kyle Sieg 22nd. Leland Honeyman 23rd. Anthony Alfredo 24th. And Jesse Iwuji 25th. Catherine Legg, 26th. Joey Gase, 27th. Ryan Ellis, 28th. 29th, Mason Maggio. Jeb Burton in 30th after being involved in this incident. Sammy Smith in 31st. Christian Eckes, 32nd. Patrick Emerly will get the free pass in 33rd. Greg Van Alst, 34th. Ryan Sieg, 35th. They're probably both going to be out of the race following the crash. Engine problems just before the caution for William Sawalich is why he's 36th. Currently, Cesar Baccarello is still on track, but 5 laps down at 37th, and then Parker Retzlaff did come back on the racetrack after issues earlier, pulled behind the pit wall into the garage, but he is on track 28 laps down in last 38th. There's enough laps left in the race that he's going to cycle past the drivers who have DNF'd here with the caution and the engine issues for Sawalich, so I'd imagine Sawalich will actually end up with the last place finish today, assuming Retzlaff runs the rest of the laps to the finish. It's more under caution at the Talladega Superspeedway. Ag Pro 300 coverage continues our second to last break of the stream as we await this next restart. Listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Dega. Done Watkins Glen and Road America. I have been to both of those tracks. I was at Watkins Glen way before the YouTube channel back in 2019. And then I was at Road America in 2021 for their first Cup race. Saw Chase Elliott win both of those days. I've seen Elliott win a lot. Every Cup race I've been to on a road course, I think he's won, which was all with the Gen 6. I haven't been to a Cup road course race in a minute. I was at Mid-Ohio for the trucks after that, Xfinity. Saw an IndyCar race at Mid-Ohio at one point in that stretch, but I haven't been to a Cup road course in a while. Still got to get out to Sonoma sometime.
Followed by Grand Slam track as the Baptist athletes of the world compete for millions of dollars in Miami. It's a full day of speed on CW Sports Saturday next week, starting 1:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Pacific on the CW. We made our final pit stops of the afternoon. Greg Van Alstyne to pit. Everybody trying to go around him. Tight quarter racing at Talladega, and you get a caution. Will there be more? The restart coming here in the final stage. When we return, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Talladega on CW.
Definitely a lengthy caution. I almost wonder if Ryan Sieg going the full length of the way around the racetrack, even though he was down on the bottom or towards the apron, was leaking fluids all the way back into pit road, which is why the caution's as long as it's been so far. I mean, honestly, it's only been 4 or 5 laps up to this point, which I guess isn't a long time when you consider Talladega is a 2.66 mile oval. It's Creed Jones, Love, Almirola, front 4 for this upcoming restart. And we will have about 30 laps or less left in this race when we go green. Field got bunched back together after those green flag pit stops very quickly. Swalch had an engine, went boom, yes. That's exactly what happened to Sawallich's last place again. The rough season continues. A lot of it has been his own doing, just poor performance, not able to make it to the end of the race. But him not being able to make it to the end of the race today is because of the engine. Ritzlev might have pulled back off track a second time. He was 24 laps down for a while. Now he's 31. And he was at 28 laps down right when I looked at the leaderboard when the caution first came out. So Ritzlev still might end up last. 36th on back is still 1 point for the finishing position. So Sawallich at 37th isn't really going to get anything there for the points side of things. Same for Ryan Sieg in 36 once Baccarella runs another lap. Sieg again out of the race. 33 cars are still on the lead lap, with this being the only incident of the day. All of them are in contention for the race win, as Talladega and the pack racing goes. Christopher Mitchell, welcome to the stream. Too bad Cletus doesn't race here too. Man, that would have been a massive day. I would have probably had over 100,000 views on the channel if he was running both races. My gosh. I know he had talked about potentially running Bristol later in the year, but then he didn't seem as sure about it in his post-race interview. He's talking about Dega in the fall, but that might not be ARCA, because ARCA only has one race at Talladega a year, which is in the spring. So the Dega fall race. Is he talking Xfinity? Trucks? You know, what is he talking about there? We shall see. I can promise you I will be live for the Cup Series race at Talladega later this year. I only go to Dega once. in a season. Only track I ever went to more than once in a year was Michigan when they had 2 dates for a while, but that's only because it's a close drive for me. Barely over an hour. Home track, got to take advantage of it.
As we looked at the first 2 stages of this race, and now that's put him in position to be in the lead here in stage 3. His closest friend is Harrison Burton, who's also done a good job to be in the top 10, Jimmy.
And the Ford field has lost one, and that would be Ryan Sieg, who's out of the care center. Carla?
Yeah, that's right. Ryan Sieg's day ends. You were caught up in the first natural caution of the day. It looked like you almost escaped it, though.
Yeah, no, I thought I had it saved, and then the grass got us on the bottom. I'm not sure what happened. Just still 30 to go. It just sucks, you know what I mean, to get caught up with 30 to go in a wreck. But we had a car almost as fast as Xfinity Mobile, but just sucks to end up. Oh yeah, right there. Just sucks to come. Still 30 to go. There's a lot of racing left, and we had a decent car, but is what it is. It's Talladega.
Are you surprised it took that long to get a natural caution?
Yeah, no, I was surprised. It was pretty close. It was a little bit hectic at times. You know what I mean? The cars are dancing all over the place, but you know what I mean? It's just part of one little mistake. I guess, I don't know. I guess the 27 got sideways is all I saw, and then checked up, but I had it saved, and then the grass got us.
Thanks, Ryan. Tough ending for Ryan Dillon.
And Carla, just want to keep an eye on Austin Hill here on this restart, who is going to restart in 12th. That's as far back as he's been all day. You know, I spoke to crew chief Chad Haney this morning. He said we want to get to the lead and stay there for a couple reasons. If they get shuffled back, kind of where they are right now, it becomes fast cars who don't want to work with them, or the wrong cars trying too hard to work with them, which can cause some issues. So if they're up front, it allows Austin, the driver, and spotter Derek Nealon to just do what they do best. But they're kind of in the hornet's nest right now and not where they want to be. So just going to be interested to see how aggressive the 21 is trying to get back to the front.
You know, we saw that wreck with Ryan Sieg, and he referenced he had it saved till he got to the grass. Think about how much rain we had here last night. And as you watch this car go down, that splitter just catches what appears to be a tremendous amount of mud, and you'll see it. Let's get another shot.
A different angle here, but it basically grips the front end apart as the splitter catches the mud.
Hey, you wonder if it's dry down there, if he's able to slide right over it.
Then he ends up collecting Parker Retzloff as well. He's had a lot of mechanical issues in that Ford car. But just back to the 21, earlier today or yesterday, we talked about how do you beat the 21. He's the super speedway savant. My thought was you just can't follow him. You got to try. The field has to try and do something different. The other way is to put him back in the field, and therefore he can't maybe get to the front.
Yeah, the pit cycle has kind of flipped it around on us. Jesse Love is still in third, who has basically dominated this race, leading 48 laps. But his teammate Austin Hill is shuffled back a little bit. But
all right. Green flag about to be back in the air again. Brandon Jones, Sheldon Creed, front row. Creed, the control car, is the leader. Outside lane of row 1 for him. He's got Jesse Love, one of the faster cars, right on his back bumper, giving him the push. 28 laps left at Talladega for the NASCAR Xfinity Series as we're back to green. 2 by 2 entering the first turn. Brandon Jones on the bottom. Has Harrison Burton and Nick Sanchez just behind him. Harrison Burton's been up in the back half of the top 10 infrequently throughout the course of the race, but up in contention to lead for the first time. Austin Hill on the outside lane immediately trying to get a third line formed as they still get to speed entering turn 3 on the opening lap following the restart. Sheldon Creed, who is still yet to get his first Xfinity Series career win, second. Too many times to count at this point. Here he is running up in the top 2 yet again in the late going of a race. He's finished runner-up before here at Talladega as one of those runner-up finishes as well. And now he's leading as he leads his first green flag lap of the day. He was leading under caution before that. And Creed is clear down to the bottom of the track on Jones. Might be a bad idea pulling to the bottom, though, because Jesse Love in the 2 is now leading the outside with the 19 of Eric Almirola behind him. By the outside, I mean the second line. The third line, led by Austin Hill, has not quite gotten up into the top handful of rows yet. There aren't enough cars there, even with as strong as Hill's race car is. He's got Blaine Perkins, Jeremy Clements, and Anthony Alfredo behind him, but that's it. Nobody else in front. Love pulls to the outside of Brandon Jones for second, side by side there exiting turn 4 as Creed still leads through the tri-oval. Thought about going to the top. Now does in the middle of the tri-oval this time. And here comes Love with a huge head of steam. Fakes to the middle lane. Goes to the back bumper of Creed. Pushes him out in front instead. Brandon Jones trying to get back to the inside of Sheldon Creed for the lead and does so in the middle of 1 and 2. Outside lane of cars slightly more packed together than the bottom lane as they exit the second turn. Almirola pushing the 2 of Jesse Love. Big shot for Allgaier to the back of Carson Kvapil. Both of those two will move up in front of Austin Hill in the third lane. Almirola was still pushing the 2 entering turn 3. Love is going to stay on the outside, Almirola underneath him, but that was probably because he saw the outside line forming near the wall, and Jesse wanted to lead that line instead. Brandon Jones is out in front, a lead change again, our 18th of the race as Creed does not lead this lap. Love up the middle, 4 wide. Creed hung out to dry on the outside. Jesse didn't want Creed's car to slow his momentum down. He stayed in the gas, made a daring move, gets by, still 4 wide as Creed tries to cycle back in line somewhere in the pack and does in front of Jeremy Clements. He's now the 6th car in line in the third groove of the racetrack. So many Chevys up on the outside. Trying to catch the Toyota on the bottom of Brandon Jones, who has a Ford and a Chevy behind him. No manufacturer alignment on the inside, just whoever's there, really. As the laps wind down at Talladega, 24 to go at the line. 4 laps in already since the restart. Three by three from about 4th on back. Love to the outside of our race leader, Brandon Jones. A quick side draft entering turn 1 and then back to the wall. Middle of the corner, cuts down to the bottom. Not all the way to the inside, but in front of the middle line of cars, which is led by Sanchez, who was on the bottom 3 rows back, but moves up in front of Almirola to lead that second groove of cars. Love is cleared to get to the inside now as he enters turn 3 and does so successfully on top of the 20 of Jones. Connor Zilic, who we haven't really talked about all day today, is now the first car in line in the third lane with 2 teammates at Junior Motorsports behind him of Kvapil and Allgaier. Love leads yet again with 23 laps to go. I believe he still led the most laps in the race. 50 laps led of 91 so far for Jesse Love from the pole. 19 stage points, 1 stage win. Trying to redeem himself after crossing the start-finish line first a week ago, but failing post-race inspection at Rockingham. He's my pick to win here today, and he is definitely put himself in the right position, at least to this point. Can he continue on with the lead? As his teammate Austin Hill is not that far behind, but still just slightly outside the top 5. Hill's boxed in right now with the 3 JRM Chevys in front of him, and he can't get down to the middle line and make moves of his own because there's just too many cars there. Sanchez, since moving up into the middle groove, has gone backwards. Almirola hasn't given the rookie enough of a push to get back going in the right direction yet. Zilic trying to beat the 2 to the outside. It looked like he was about ready to bump draft him, and Love is hung out to dry in the middle. Sanchez is going to have to pick him up in the draft eventually here, so he's not going to go too far backwards, but he will lose the lead for the time being. And now is rookie Connor Zilic trying to take the lead for the first time late at Talladega. He's got the nose out in front entering turn 3. Side by side through the center of the corner for the lead with the car still in the double yellow of Brandon Jones. We had a win at Darlington a few weeks back. A lot of drivers who have already won at least one race this season have been at the front numerous times today, including up towards the front right now. The top 6, 4 drivers have a win. Zilic, Jones, Love, Allgaier. And Austin Hill just behind that in 7th with 2 wins. All of them are Xfinity Series regulars as well. No Cup regulars in this Xfinity Series race field today, like we've seen several times throughout the course of the early going of the season. But yeah, Zilich out in front and leads, coming up on 20 laps to go this time by. He pulls off of the wall line, and that was a big mistake for the rookie. Just gets back up in front of his teammate. Carson Quavel might have lifted and let him in. Allows for the 2 lanes underneath to maybe gain a little bit of ground back that they had lost the lap before. And Allgaier's pushing the one of Quavel. Quavel is all sorts of unsteady, and as they work their way through the center of the tri-oval, it's now 3 wide for second. For a brief moment at least. Lap car down to the bottom lane of the racetrack is Josh Williams. And it looked like Williams actually ran over some debris that came off the front of the 39 car during the last caution. I think that really hurt him and hurt something in that car. Root cause for why he can't keep up with the lead draft and now goes a lap down. 4 wide as they split around Williams entering turn 3. Everybody got to get through that 4 wide mess. Austin Hill out of nowhere, up the middle. Gets by Allgaier, gets down to the bottom in front of his teammate Jesse Love, and now the 2 RCR Chevys are hook nose to tail again. Almirola pushing the 48 of Sanchez, has to let go into the tri-oval where the cars are going to get a little light. Zilich still leads. He's led 3 consecutive laps now, 19 to go. But the 21 and the 2 are coming on that bottom lane. And they're moving through the field fast. Zilich saw that, cuts down to the bottom, needs to keep those 2 in the rear view. Moves back to the outside to get a push from his teammate Quappel. The 2 rookie teammates trying to work together to take down the RCR duo that have dominated the race today of Hill and Love. Allgaier as well, that 3rd JRM car on the top, also can work together with his teammates for now. Zilich controls the top and bottom through 3 and 4, moves back up in front of the 1, but here comes Hill to the inside for the lead, off of turn 4, side by side, through the tri-oval, this time by at the line. Zilich going to try to side draft the 21 at the line. Zilich leads that lap by just 1/100th of a second. Lap car staying on the apron and out of the way, slow as they get up to speed. Leaders are racing by. Yeah, a shout out, by the way, to Catherine Legg in the 32. I was going to say something earlier. I noticed she was in the top 20 at one point. Staying out of the way. She is currently 15th. Good to see her having a good run after an abysmal start to her NASCAR career this season across all 3 series that she has participated in. ARC included at Daytona earlier in February. But she's up in the lead pack and in contention. By the way, Brandon Jones, who I see around Catherine Legg, around 15th, what happened to him? He was leading just a few laps ago, and now he's well outside the top 10. I don't know how he fell back as far as he did, but he did. We restarted with 28 to go, and he was leading laps the first few laps after the restart. Here we are with 17 to go, 11 laps later, and he's in the middle of a 3-wide mess at the back of this lead pack. Trying to figure out exactly how many cars are in the lead draft here. 1 second separating about the top 20. Pretty much everybody that's in the race is in the lead pack. Some of them are staying a little bit behind it more than others, but, I mean, they're not way off of it, which, for that reason, they could still get caught up in an incident. Spitfire, the Dragon TV, welcome to the stream. Pulling for Catherine Legg. Zilich has now led for 5 laps consecutively here at Talladega. Big move for Austin Hill from the inside just behind him, is going to try to take to the outside of Zilich into turn 1 for the lead. Jesse Love, his teammate, went with him. Zilich has to side draft aggressively to keep the 21 from clearing, but he doesn't have any push help from behind. Jeb Burton's too far back. Jesse Love and Austin Hill, 1-2, yet again at Talladega. Burton actually chose to go to the bottom. He left the 88, didn't want to be the push car. Where did that surge of momentum come from? Jeb Burton. He gets to the inside of Austin Hill as he's got Sheldon Creed behind him. Burton, who was involved in the only wreck of the race, is back in it with 15 to go this time by. Big loose moment entering the tri-oval for Sheldon Creed. Regathers it quickly, though the bottom now starting to lose momentum after that was the case. Hill leads the lap at the line, but Burton still side by side for second with Jesse Love entering turn 1. Carson Quappel 3 wide on the outside of the 19. Brandon Jones, who I've just mentioned, moments ago was leading, fell well outside of the top 10. He's back up to 7th. That quickly, things can go from back to front to back here at Talladega in this lead draft. And Jesse Love is going to make a move on his teammate. He doesn't want to wait around. He had a big push into the back straightaway from Connor Zilic. He can't clear Austin Hill in time, though. Jesse Love try to keep him up at the front. RCR side by side for the lead here late. 14 to go as the laps continue to wind down. And Love that time by at the line. 2/1000ths of a second was second to that of Austin Hill. Hill leads that lap again. Brett Whiteside's John Barber, welcome to the stream. Triple header indeed, and what an action-packed race. I'd say probably the best stream of the day so far by way of the racing quality. And here we go. Zilic to the back of the 21, pushing him forward. Jesse Love, side draft on the 88 of Zilic. Not clear. No chance to move up in front of him. There was a big gap on the 21 and the 88, but then it closed quickly off turn 4. Exiting the tri-oval. Hill leads another lap. A few of them consecutively now. Jesse Love to the inside for the race lead through 1 and 2 on his teammate. Burton just can't get close enough behind the 2 car to actually give him a push. It just goes to show how strong the 2 is, that he's able to make moves like that almost by himself. Oh, 1 car turn into the outside wall. Into another. Catherine Legg is involved. She's going to hit the inside wall. Eric Almirola against the outside, collected with his JGR teammate, Brandon Jones. And it looked like there might have been a couple others involved. It was right in the middle of this lead pack. And it started when Almirola got turned against the outside wall in the back straightaway. I'm not sure who had hit him from behind, which caused him to go sideways, but the caution flag is out. Just our second caution for incident. 24 of Jeffrey Earnhardt also involved. Severe damage to his right front. 3 Toyotas at least involved in the crash. Caution strikes with 12 laps to go here at Talladega. Eric was not clear, moved in front of her. Is that what it was? Yeah, I wasn't sure live as it happened who made the wrong decision. Yeah, Legg was outside 6th car in that 3rd line. Yeah, oh yeah, Almirola just moved right across her nose. I don't know what he was thinking there. Did he get hit from behind before making the move up? Because when I watched it live, that's what I thought happened, because he made just such a knee-jerk reaction into the outside. I don't know who was behind him in the middle. Showing an aerial cam replay. He had plenty of room back to Taylor Gray, who was behind him. I don't think Gray hit him. No, he just tried to pull up, and it just was too late of a move. He had a chance to move up if he had initially done it off turn 2, but he waited way too long. They were middle of the back straightaway before he finally tried to make the move, and the gap was already closed in by then. And the missed timing there from the veteran Eric Almirola, to say the least, and a good super speedway racer at that as well, but he's the one that triggers this caution. Middle of the pack, middle of the back straightaway with a dozen laps to go. Almirola would be involved in something like that, or the root cause of a caution that involves something like that. Legg's car being towed back to pit road, that's a tough break. She had a good, she was top 15 when that took place. 6th in line on the outside. And you just hope that something goes right through her NASCAR career at some point here, and things were here today until Almirola made just a bad move to try to shuffle himself into the outside line. There was a really good crowd on hand for the Xfinity race here. The lower bowl seems relatively empty, but that second deck looks packed. It's like everybody wants to sit in the second deck, which I don't blame them. I usually try to sit in the second deck at Dega too, because you can see more of the track that way. You sit in the lower bowl, you can really only see the front stretch. Well, caution's out again. We'll restart with less than 10 laps to go when we do. And Austin Hill is your race leader. Connor Zilich is second, Jesse Love third, Nick Sanchez fourth, Jeb Burton in fifth, Carson Kvapil is sixth, seventh for Sheldon Creed, Justin Allgaier eighth, Matt DiBenedetto ninth, and Dean Thompson rounds out the top 10. Blaine Perkins in 11th, Leland Honeyman in 12th, Taylor Gray 13th, Harrison Burton 14th, Sam Mayer 15th, 16th, Daniel Dye, Christian Eckes 17th, Anthony Alfredo 18th, Brendan Poole 19th, and Mason Maggio in 20th. Joey Gates 21st, Ryan Ellis 22nd, Patrick Emmerling 23rd, Kyle Sieg 24th, and Chris Wright 25th. 26th, Jeremy Clements, Jesse Wuji is the last car in the lead lap at 27th. And you got Brandon Jones 28th with damage following the crash. Same for Jeffrey Earnhardt in 29th and Eric Almirola in 30th. Catherine Legg towed back to the garage. Her day is done in 31st. Josh Williams 32nd still on track with damage from the incident before that is 4 laps down though. Cesar Baccarella has had an issue today of some sort. He struggled to keep up with the lead draft. He's 6 laps down in 33rd. Sammy Smith, involved in the wreck before that, is on track but 7 laps down in 34th. And then Greg Van Alst was knocked out of the race in that same crash Smith was involved in. He is currently 35th. Ryan Sieg 36th, both out. William Sawalich 37th. And Parker Retzlaff 38th. So 4 cars were out of the race before this crash. Legg will exit. I'm sure Almirola is probably going to exit. He hit pretty hard there. Jeffrey Earnhardt's got quite a bit of damage, but was able to drive back to pit road. Brandon Jones has damage, but he drove back to pit road. So at least 6 DNFs in the race as of the finish from where we are right now, just under 2 hours in. Again, 11 laps to go under caution. A 4th yellow of the race, only 2nd for incident. Still a very, very fast race pace here today at Talladega for the Xfinity Series. 21 lead changes, 18 laps and counting under yellow have been ran in this one. Relatively clean Talladega NASCAR Xfinity race so far. Keywords there. 88 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Our goal was to get to 100. And I believe this would be the 5th or 6th consecutive Xfinity race to get 100 likes if we do get the like goal. So be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe for more weekend NASCAR content like this. Every Cup Xfinity truck race, practice qualifying for the Cup Series, all live on the channel. Did the ARCA Super Speedway races this year at Dega and Daytona as well as we have done in the last several years of the channel doing these live commentary streams. Okay, just awaiting this next restart. Again, we will definitely have less than 10 laps to go. We'll take our final ad break of the stream while we're waiting for the next restart. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega, the Ag Pro 300. And Zilich was doing good, leading there for a little bit before Austin Hill was able to take the front of the field. Zilich was able to at least break up the RCR cars at the time of the caution, being in second. Big block by Jesse Love. Zilich to the outside was able to force 3 wide. Love had fallen back just a bit. That was earlier when Zilich took the lead around 22 laps to go. Did not get the 1 to go signal yet as cleanup continues. Once more, we will not have a huge post-race show for this Xfinity Series race. It's going to be very condensed. I'll let you listen into an interview with our race winner of this one, and that will be it. And then I have to be on the road to head to Talladega. Again, I got a 10-hour drive ahead of me, and the race starts in less than 20 hours. So, if that tells you anything. So, I got to get going here at some point. But live commentary all day today. Had the Cup Series in the morning, 10:30 a.m. A couple hours after that, ARCA race, and here, obviously, for the Xfinity, finishing off our triple header. Weather good here just east of Atlanta. Yeah, weather looks good for the drive down at least, so I'm all right with that. Hopefully it holds up. I think the big thing is coming back home from Texas that following week, which it's just too far out to tell right now. It is tornado season, so definitely going to have to be very, very leery, especially going through that area of the country. Tornado Alley. Driving back home, making sure I'm watching the weather as I'm on the road. Try to time it out to where I get through specific points before the inclement weather would get there. So definitely going to have to be safe there. Definitely bringing my golf clubs. Going to get some rounds in. There's a course I usually play in Knoxville called the Knoxville area. It's not exactly Knoxville, but called the Centennial. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play there because of doing these live streams. But every time I've gone to Dega, the first 4 times I played around of golf there, first time I played there, I really loved the course, and I tried to go down every time. So this is going to be the first year I've gone to Dega. Of my 5 trips, I have not played at that course. And I can't play it coming back home because I'm coming back home. So kind of stinks. I'm going to Bristol later this year in the summer. Late summer, so maybe I'll take the couple extra hour trip to get to that course then. So don't miss out on it this year. But even then, that's a few hours out of my way from that point. So I don't know. Might have to give the Centennial a break this year, unfortunately. Great course. For anybody that knows what I'm talking about, again, it's in the Knoxville area. It's a really good course, and it's very cheap. Like, it's cheaper than a lot of the local courses around where I live. Now, granted, the expense of living in Tennessee is a lot cheaper than what it is at Ohio, too, so that probably helps with that. But you got the GPS on the golf carts. Got a legitimate restaurant on the inside of the clubhouse. I mean, it's a really nice course. It's upscale. It's in a very, very nice neighborhood. And I think it was only like $37 for me to play. 27 actually. I think it was 27 when I played there because it was relatively cheap. Now, granted, it was during the week every time I played there because it'd be like a Thursday or Friday afternoon. So I'm not getting charged the weekend price. Might be a little more expensive if you check it out on a weekend. Monday coming back home, I know I played there then before, so that could be slightly cheaper price, but still surprised. Eric Alberola luckily has exited the infield care center and he is standing by for an interview.
The middle lane was just kind of fizzling out there, and I crashed myself, I guess. Yeah, I had a quick hole, I guess, and he said clear, and I moved, and I don't know, maybe I wasn't clear, but obviously it wasn't clear because I crashed. So Catherine didn't do anything wrong. She was right where she needed to be, and I just turned across her nose. So hate it that it took us out of the race, and just happy to have Young Life on the car and everybody here that supports them, and wish we could have had a better run for them, but we'll watch the end and see who wins. Thanks.
And we can't wait to watch the ending of this one.
Oh boy, here we go. 7 laps to go on the restart. We get back to racing. Oh, it rewinded me. I don't know why it did that. Trying to catch up with the live broadcast now. I back out and go back in. Well, they did get the 1 to go signal, and then the caution lights were on. There's still debris on the racetrack. Not sure where that is. It looks like back straightaway, maybe. Yeah. Right down the Alabama gang super stretch. Debris on the bottom. So that'll add another lap of caution. So now we'll only have 6 laps to go when we go green. The Rat Farmer, welcome to the stream. Regine Huddleston, thanks for tuning in. Just over 185 in the chat. $94 likes, our goal to get to 100, so be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for NASCAR weekend content, live commentary streams like this. Again, I'll be at the Cup Race Talladega tomorrow, so there will be a race highlight video from the grandstands in replacement of a live commentary stream for not only tomorrow's Talladega Cup Race, but the Cup Race at Texas the following weekend as well. Live commentary, though, for obviously this Xfinity race, triple header today. We had ARCA earlier. We had the qualifying for the Cup Series as well in the morning. And we will be live for Truck Series racing Friday night at Texas Motor Speedway next week. I'll go through the start times as soon as this race ends. Before we get the interview from our race winner. After the interview, we'll end it because I've got a long drive ahead of me. We are ready. Hit 6,000 subs on the channel earlier today during the ARCA race. Greatly appreciate that. And all the regular viewers of the channel. Road to 7K now. Motors on. All right. Austin Hill. Outside row 1, he's got his teammate Jesse Love behind him for the restart. Connor Zilic will be inside of row 1 with Nick Sanchez as the push car behind him. Green flag is going to be back in the air, and the RCR duo who have dominated the day have a chance to try to hold things off down the home stretch. Can they get it done? Going through turns 1 and 2, it's Zilic down on the bottom, who actually has the head of steam and is clear of the race leaders on the outside. Sanchez also clear. Not a great restart there for Hill and Love together. Sanchez moves up in front of Austin Hill, and the same for Zilic. So Connor Zilic back out in front. 2 rookies lead the race. Bottom lane now being led by Carson Kvapil and Justin Allgaier. Zilic saw that. Moves down in front of his JRM teammates. So now it's 3 JRM Chevys. And then the 4 Chevys on the outside lane of Sanchez, and then the 2 RCR cars of Hill, Love. Jeb Burton also up there, has been quick late, even with slight damage from an earlier incident for Burton. First lap following the restart is going to be led by Nick Sanchez. 5 laps to go. Kvapil stuck 3 wide middle now. Hung out to dry by his teammate of all people, Justin Allgaier. Love going to make a move here on Austin Hill. He doesn't want to wait around for Hill to make a move. And he hops in front of Jeb Burton. Big block by Sanchez. Right in the middle groove of the racetrack. Almost caused a wreck in front of the field. He stays in the middle. Zilic evades to the bottom. On the outside, it's Jesse Love again in front of his teammate, Austin Hill. And Sanchez leads the middle. Very close call. Connor Zilic has his teammate in his rearview mirror of Justin Allgaier. 1-2 for Junior Motorsports late. Matt DiBenedetto, the 3rd car in line on the bottom, has quietly been in the top 10 for most of the race. He's got a shot to win late here for Fight King Motorsports. What an upset that would be. He does have a truck win at Talladega. He's been close in the Cup Series. Oh, another big moment. Entering turn 1, Jeb Burton got sideways. He was getting pushed by Sheldon Creed. Nearly made contact with Jesse Love to his outside. Things are getting hairy late. 3.5 laps to go down the backstretch. Sanchez trying to creep forward. DiBenedetto a push to the back of the 7 of Allgaier as he gains ground on the 88 of Zilic, who still leads. Love and Hill are still stuck in that outside lane with not a lot of cars behind them. Bit of bottlenecking going on in the middle groove as Sanchez pulls down right in front of the 27 of Jeb Burton. Both of their cars are all over the place, dancing around off turn 4. With a push from Sheldon Creed. Carson Kvapil going to move outside. Junior Motorsports 1, 2, 3. At least for a brief moment, as DiBenedetto still on the inside of Kvapil more. Jesse Love and Austin Hill bump drafting down the back straightaway. A big move by Zilic up in front of his teammate Kvapil, and the 2 rookies at Junior Motorsports lead the way. Now Sanchez leaves Kvapil from the middle, goes to the outside in front of Jesse Love. Sanchez, nowhere to go, but he's going to get split 4 wide now by Love. 4 wide at Talladega from about 3rd place. Jesse Love with a power move and being followed by his teammate Austin Hill. Continues to try to gain ground. Lead change at the front for Junior Motorsports. Justin Allgaier leads that lap at the line over Zilic barely. Zilic side drafts, gets the pole, and clears Allgaier back into the first turn. 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Jesse Love started to fall back a little bit. Jeb Burton going to move up in front of him. Same for Quapple, same for Zilich. Allgaier still on the bottom, DiBenedetto behind him. Shaking back and forth is Burton and Quapple in the second and outer groove of the racetrack. Jesse Love will get to the outside 3 wide. Now gets to the outside 4 wide on Carson Quapple, excuse me there. Getting Carson and Connor mixed up. But they are 4 wide. Quapple's going backwards. Zilich leads through the tri-oval. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Zilich pulls down, final lap of the race. One car gets underneath, and that's Jeb Burton in the 27 as they drag race through 1 and 2. Side drafting each other back and forth. 3 wide all the way through the field further back. Zilich to the outside in front of Love. Love trying to beat him to the outside again. Can't do it. Back straightaway. Cree going backwards in the middle groove, stacking them up. They're 4 wide again. Oh, Love turns the 88. Head on. Hard into the inside wall down the back straightaway. Caution flag is out as the leaders are 3 wide into 3. And we don't know exactly who the winner is yet between Jeb Burton, Jesse Love, and Austin Hill. That looked like a push gone wrong for Jesse Love on the current race leader at that time of the incident, Connor Zilich. Single car incident, but a very hard impact for Zilich. Head on into the inside back straightaway wall, cause of the caution, and the race is over. And on our leaderboard, it is showing Jeb Burton as the winner, but we have to wait for timing and scoring to come in. Who was the leader at the time of the yellow? Just like we had in the ARCA race earlier, caution on the final lap freezes the field at the time of yellow. And that will dictate our finishing results. AMR safety team working with the driver of the 88, Connor Zilich. It appears that Jeb Burton might have won the race. If so, it'd be the second career win for Jeb Burton. Both of which here at Talladega. And I believe he has one.
Exactly right.
The other thought here, the hard hit for Connor Zilich to that inside wall.
I believe Jeb Burton is our winner.
Our safety team there. The Golden Corral onboard camera capturing the emotion.
Yeah, middle of the back straightaway. Love pulled to the bottom. It looked like Zilich was trying to block Jesse Love all the way into that middle groove and turned himself with the late block. And then a massive impact into that inside wall for the rookie Zilich. Rear wheels popping up off the ground. Big absorption from that safer barrier on the inside as well. And hopefully Zilich is okay. Big of a shot as he could take. Head on, at least, here at Talladega. We've seen several hits like that in years past. Still having to decide whether it was between Austin Hill and Jeb Burton at the time of the caution. Our live leaderboard is not correct. I can guarantee you that. It doesn't look like it's Jesse Love who's going to win the race. I think he lost too much momentum when the 88 had pulled down to make the block on him and there was that contact. And the 88 spun off the 2's front bumper. And that's, again, between Jeb Burton and Austin Hill for the win here.
It's different when you get that straight-on angle to see who's in the best
I'll turn the
position.
broadcast on so we know the winner at the time.
And think about everything that's on the
Of
line
it being
too.
announced.
For Jeb Burton, an underdog team, you race, you're locked into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Austin Hill, you win, and you're the all-time wins leader in the Xfinity Series in the draft. And for Jesse Love, the bounce back from last week, the disappointment, think he won Rockingham, and having it taken away from him.
Kind of looks like Hill.
These are some images that NASCAR is looking at. You want it?
There you go. 27, or sorry, 20, I got that wrong. 21-27-2. Austin Hill is your winner at Talladega yet again. Jeb Burton, oh so close in second. Jesse Love, third. Rounding out the top 3. We'll go through the rest of the finishing results here in a moment. I'll refresh the page to see if our raw feed is any more clear. because it still shows Jeb Burton on our leaderboard as first because he crossed the start-finish line first, but that wasn't the case. Caution came out entering turn 3 on the final lap. We'll get an interview from Austin Hill. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and we'll be out of here very shortly. We've got almost 200 people in the chat. Just over 100 likes on our goal, so appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Go to full results now. Race winner Jeb Burton. That's not it. That is not the race results. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through the full field finishing results because these aren't going to be right. We do know the top 3, which again is Austin Hill winning the race, and then Jeb Burton and Jesse Love 2nd and 3rd. Jordan Anderson Racing almost got their first win as an organization again, coming oh so close on a super speedway. First has been Jordan Anderson a couple times, and now Jeb Burton in the 27 here today. Austin Hill wrapping up his burnout. I'll keep refreshing the page here just to see if anything changes. But I'm not going to go through the full leaderboard because I know that that's not going to be correct. I can confirm, though, most laps led in the race, Jesse Love with 50. After starting on the pole, he won a stage. Austin Hill also won a stage today. Led for 19 laps. 20, I guess, when everything updates because he technically would have led the final lap, which ended under caution. 3rd win of the year for Austin Hill. Most of any other driver on the Xfinity Series so far this season. Again, Austin Hill with the win, Jeb Burton 2nd, Jesse Love 3rd. Our leaderboard is going to be all messed up, and I'm sure NASCAR is going to be going through the finishing order, and that's going to change quite a bit here for quite some time. I'll be on the road to Talladega, and they're still going to be changing the order.
Well, and I know how bad he wanted to get this one at Talladega. Wins at Daytona, wins at Atlanta, and this was the one that eluded him. Hey, finally, Talladega, walk us through just the last couple of laps and how you got ultimately back to the front of the field and how you got it done.
Yeah, our Bennett Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Mobile all day. Man, we really had to work for that one. It just seemed like, our car was really good. Everybody at RCR, ECR engines are, bad at the bone like always. But yeah, we had to work for it. I thought the 2 was really good. When we got the push from the 2 getting into 1, and I was behind the 48, I kind of shaded a little left like I was going to go to the inside. And the 2 got there, and he got inside of me, and I'm like, man, that and didn't cover it. So I thought that we were done. And I just locked in and started pushing the heck out of the 2 car. Me and my teammate Jesse, we worked really well together all day for the most part. So I was pushing him as hard as I possibly could on the top. I knew he was going to have a really good run down the backstretch, and I figured he was going to go left and try to get to the bottom. And when he went left to go to the bottom, I knew I still had help out back, so I was just trying to keep my help out back. I see him spin to the inside, and I'm like looking left and like looking at the light, and I couldn't tell. I knew that it was either me or the 27. So, man, to win them, any way that you win them is always great. And to finally conquer Talladega, that's something I've been wanting to do for a really long time.
Well, I was going to say, is that a weight that really was weighing on you, one just for personal reasons or one that you just really wanted to win?
I mean, I just really wanted to win it. Like, I just, we've won at all these other super speedways, and to finally get it done at all the different speedways we go to, the super speedways we go to, it just goes to show this 21 team can win at any of them, and we're really good at this style of racing. And I got to give a huge shout out to my spotter, Derek Nealon. Without him, I can't do half the stuff I do inside this race car. So I'm going to give it up to him today. He worked extremely hard up on top of that roof, and we're going to celebrate this one.
They were fun to listen to today for sure. The undisputed now king of super speedways in the Xfinity Series, Austin Hill. Kim?
Dylan, on the flip side of that coin, the utter disappointment and frustration from Jeb Burton having come up just one spot short. Take me through that last lap, through the caution flying. What was going through your head in that moment?
Well, first I want to thank the 00. He helped me all day and put us in position there at the end, and I felt like that we did everything we could today. just frustrated with. I mean, I feel like when the caution flew, I was ahead of the 21. So I don't know if we can call it or what, but last week at Rockingham, I got pretty screwed on a yellow and putting me back a row, and then today lose the race because of, I'm sure, a timing line. But I don't see the 21 ahead of me at all any of this time. And right there, you can see my nose is in front of the 21. I don't know what we're looking at, but is it not in front to you?
I mean, are you asking, are you hoping NASCAR gives you a different angle?
Yeah, for sure, because that angle right there, we won the race, and that's what I saw across my right front. I think I got the best view of it compared to anybody, so they need to go look at it, because every angle I keep seeing, we win the race. So just frustrated with that. Maybe they can show us a different angle here, but just appreciate my guys. They work really hard. We do a lot with the little team, and appreciate Golden Corral, Celsius, State Water Heaters, everybody that helps us. We got a lot of supporters, and I still look at the tire ahead of his tire. I mean, I don't know what's so complicated there. So they need to go look at it. We're gonna protest. If you can protest, do whatever the hell we can do, because I think we won this race.
Can you see through the frustration, though, and see the positive of the day you guys had? You scored the third most points, and I know that's very important to you.
Yeah, it's just we don't have a lot of chances to win, you know? And that's what's frustrating.
It was a heck of an effort by you and the team.
Kim mentions.
Emotional interview there for Jeb Burton, driver of the 27, runner-up here today. Austin Hill, again, our race winner at Talladega. Thank you for everybody who tuned in, during all three of our live commentary streams today. Qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series late in the morning hours here for Talladega. Tomorrow's race, Xfinity race, obviously going on now, and the ARCA race earlier today. Big shout out again to everybody who tuned in, not only for that race, but all of the racing action throughout the course of today's Talladega, the least. Thank you all for hitting the like button on this stream specifically. We got past our like goal of 100. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. So we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers now. Just hit 6,000 today, so I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to the channel here over recent years. And obviously, throughout this year, it's been a huge year already on KRC. Our live commentary streams for next weekend will look like this. We've got the Truck Series race next Friday night at Texas. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the Xfinity Series race will be Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. I believe late morning hours we'll have practice to qualify for the Cup Series. If I had to guess, probably 11 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Doubleheader there. So 3 live commentary streams next week. As for the next 2 Cup races, no live commentary because I'll be at both of them. Cup race at Texas next week. Talladega Cup race tomorrow. We'll have race highlights from the grandstands uploaded in replacement of not having live commentary streams there. Thank you all so much for watching. I got to get on the road now. Thank you. And have a good rest of your Saturday night.